He's laughing. He's deflecting. He did, bro. I'm not doing nothing but trying to regulate some shit you're not used to regulating. Emotion. Nothing to do with none of that other shit. So, yeah, my shit, I told y'all my shit finna die. I sent it to him again. Nah, it ain't gonna, it gotta be modded in real time, like in person. Not modded like, oh, watch the comments. I'm talking about moderate time. We gonna have to have a time set. Hey, look, bro. Ooh. So I hope y'all don't confuse the scholarship with like how I just don't deal with certain shit. Like, all right, before we go, I got my wife right here. She gonna moderate our time. It don't matter what we talking about. Can you come closer so they can hear you? It don't matter what we saying. You could be asking me questions about ether. You could be expounding on whatever you debunking. That's fine. We just gonna do it in an orderly fashion, and it's not gonna be partial to one side. So every time you make a point, I'm gonna say, "Is this a point?" Or every time you want to make a statement, I'm gonna say, "This is a statement." And if you confirm it, I'm gonna be like, "All right, you got however many minutes, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, how depending on what we had in the conversation. We cool on that?"
Yeah.
All right. So your thing is, okay, let me make this statement before we move forward. I don't subscribe to ether. I don't subscribe to non-ether. And just because Dr. Melikazi York, who was my teacher, taught non-ether doesn't mean I believe him. I don't believe him. And that's the main thing. He said, don't believe me, check it out. So just because he taught this doesn't mean that I believe it. However, when people talk about it, I know about it because of what he taught. Meaning I know about it, not I know what it is for myself. You understand that? So let's get that clear before we move forward. I want to get this one more thing clear, and then we good. You're not talking to the conscious community. I don't care what it looks like. Nuwapu was some stuff you had to be around to experience. It ain't no conscious community stuff out here. I saw your posts on your page. A lot of what you say on your posts, the people you calling out, the things that you be challenging them on, I do the exact same thing. I go into more detail. I know you're probably doing the video format with it shorter, but I do a lot of videos and lives and streams and clubhouse rooms back in the day where I took them piece by piece and said, that ain't true, that's pseudo, whatever you want to call it. That no, let me ask you a question about that. Da, 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 da. So you're going to be allowed to do the same thing with me. Only thing I'm asking is for the decorum to be present, where if I say, listen, I don't believe in that, I can speak on a thing and not believe in it. I teach Christianity, Islam, all kind of religions. I don't believe in those religions. However, I've prayed with those people, walked with those people. I know what it feels like to be involved in it, all of that. But I'm not a believer in these things. So as long as we can get that understood, again, I'm open for anything you want to challenge, debunk, ask questions about, so long as there's a decorum present and you're able to do the same.
All right.
All right. So you got the first statement.
I got that. No. Would you consider yourself spiritual?
No.
Well, I'm swearing I just heard this in your post. So
okay,
you're not
go ahead, cite it.
Say again.
Cite it.
No, I can't cite it verbatim. But I just know you. I know you said you was something.
What post? I'm pulling it up. What post?
It was the one you. I think it was the one you just did when you was talking about smoking them.
I didn't call my. Okay, we about to listen to it. I got it. We about to listen to it, and I'm gonna see if I said anything about me being spiritual, and we'll deal with it.
This the same exact person who made a whole post saying Faise One is not who he says he is. 607 is chosen. He got all this divine code, all of that. So how does nigga go from chosen, divinely coded and layered to choking your ass out? Let me tell you how. He was never chosen or divinely layered. This is why the spiritual cat must die. Everybody acting like they getting all these downloads and uploads from the divine or from the ethers or from the most high. The only problem with that is when you get the shit wrong, now you're gonna tell me that the divine is wrong or that the ethers are incorrect or that the most high don't know what's going on. All these people are false prophets or cap messengers, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it keeps on revealing itself over and over and over again. Smoke the Creator used to follow me and support my posts and everything until I came out and said, stop smoking weed. Then I became the devil. I became an agent. I became a plant, ironically. But seeing this story that she's telling about 607 trying to kill her, she's talking about how the blunts that were being smoked were laced. But guess what? If you don't smoke weed, you can't smoke a laced blunt. So are you, Smoke the Creator, and all the other followers and all the other Rashad Jamal people, the rest of y'all, all y'all are the same same crowd. Are y'all going to start acknowledging beforehand when divinity actually speaks through a person? Or are you all going to wait until they bash you upside your head for you to realize you were not dealing with a lover, you were dealing with a striker, a wolf in sheep's clothing, rams disguised as lambs? And one more thing, people talk about she didn't know he came cloaked. 607 is only cloaked to the non-seers. Y'all are blind. The seers can see all of these devils because we're not focused on what things look like. We see what things are.
Okay. So real quick, before you respond, my answer is it still stands. No, I do not consider myself spiritual. You said you could have sworn that I said it in the video. Did you hear that in this video?
Yeah. No, yeah, I was misunderstood with, well, I was conflating. It's similarities in it, but with the divine.
No, I don't consider myself the divine.
No. Yeah, I know you don't consider yourself divine. I can't quote verbatim how you phrased it. But,
are you speaking about when I said, are you going to acknowledge when divinity speaks through a person?
Correct. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. So what do we need to do? We need to define. Can you pull up divine? We're going to define divine. Or matter of fact, what's your approach?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you asked. That is my approach. The definition, but also the true meaning.
Okay. What do you mean the true meaning? When you say that, what does that mean?
The true meaning is the etymology.
Etymology. Okay, I agree with that. So we'll get divine. Do you have it?
I got the etymology up. I'm pull up the definition. The definition.
We got etymology. It look like you do definition. Yep.
The definition is of, from, or like, or a god, like a god, like the god, or a god.
Okay. So yeah, anybody can be divine. Then anybody can have attributes or characteristics similar to a god. You understand the simile?
We'll have to define what a god is.
Yes. Okay, we can do that. I got time. Let's define what a god is.
And we have to go to the true meaning of that word.
Okay, let's do the true meaning of divine. You had the etymology. I know we got it over here, but you can pull it. You read it, and then we'll pair it with you.
The etymology of divine.
Yeah.
Divine comes from the Latin word divinatis, which means godliness or divine nature. The term derived from divinus, which has the Latin roots in divinus, divinaire, meaning to foretell, to predict.
Oh yeah, like a diviner to divin. I see what you mean.
Proto-Indo-European roots give us divas or duos, which means God or divine being. So the very root is a Sanskrit DEVA.
Okay, like a god.
I believe DEVA. I believe diva is a god in Sanskrit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So far, the commonality is something dealing with God or godlike or godliness.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in the common ground on that?
That's fair enough.
Okay. So let's get the etymology. We got the etymology of God over here. Can you get the definition of God? And we'll compare and we move forward. Right. While you're getting that, I got the etymology right here. It says supreme being, deity, the Christian God, image of a God, God-like person. All right. That's Old English God. We got Proto-Germanic, Guthan, source also of Old Saxon, Old Frisian, Dutch God, Old High German God or Gut, German Gut, Old Norse Guo, Gothic Goop, which is of uncertain origin, perhaps from Pi Gut, that which is invoked.
Right.
Let's get a comment. We're looking for also of Old Church Slavonic, Zobo, to call, Sanskrit Huta, invoked, an epithet of Indra from root Geoi or Geo, to call or invoke. So I'm getting invoke or invocation, to call. I'm getting a state, a godlike person, a supreme being, someone that surpasses, or a being that surpasses the average being.
And you said it was English, and you said Old English, and what was the proto?
Proto-Germanic.
Proto-Germanic, and
Yep.
Proto-Indo-European.
That was Guthan. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Guthan.
So, and that comes from
the notion could be divine entity summoned to a sacrifice as invocation. Yeah, so the main thing I'm getting is God-like image of a god, godlike person, a deity, or to invoke, if you go further into the Old Norse, onto Slavonic or Old Church Slavonic.
Right. So, of course, like the definition. Let me see. Did I define God yet? Let me go ahead and define God, and then we'll get
Yep.
back to that. So, in the definition of God, and I'm gonna give you two of them because they have the first one is solely Christianity. So, in Christianity and other monotheistic religions, the creator or ruler of the universe or source of all moral authority, the supreme being. Second definition is in certain other religions, a superhuman being or spirit worship is having power over nature or human fortunes, a deity. So the only reason why I read this is because in the definition, God isn't there. When you read the etymology, you pretty much read God, and then God is not in the etymology.
Huh?
Yeah, God is not in the etymology of God. The
No, it
true
is.
meaning, the
We're
true
looking at
meaning
it.
was. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so the source that I'm having right here is like Etum Online or Etum Online.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Okay, what's the reason? What's that? What's the assertion there?
I mean, it's kind of a tri-wictionary. If you know, I mean, Wiktionary, it's just a secondary look.
Okay, I could do that. Is the only issue there that God appears there? So okay, what's your
Well,
etymology?
the
Let's
issue
pull
is
up
that
yours.
in the etymology, just like the definitions, like the word God is no longer going to be in the true meaning of it, right? God comes from ultimately, you said it right, even though you kind of rushed through it. Proto-Germanic Gouda, meaning to call upon or to invoke. This is ultimately the root of the word. This is the true meaning of the word. Now, when we
Okay,
saying God, when we're saying God, we're actually getting it from. I'm going to put y'all on game right here. Yeah, we're actually getting it from the Gothic Bible, right? Because like how you said, we speak in English, Middle English to Old English to the Fathark, to these runic language, to the Gothic languages. In the Gothic Bible, God is named God. This is the first time that God is getting a G, because before that is Deus, all these other words, L, etc. So that's why when you look into the word God, and it takes you to Proto-Germanic influence, Good involved from various forms of different Germanic languages, including the Old English God, Old Norse. This is showing reverence to the Old Norse, the Gothic pantheon. I don't know if I won't tell y'all the head of that pantheon because most of y'all already know, but that's who they're referring to as God.
okay. What was the definition of God again?
The definition of God, again, in Christianity and other monotheistic religions, the creator and ruler of the universe and source of all moral authority, the supreme being. In other religions, superhuman being or spirit.
Okay,
Worship is having power over nature or human fortunes, a deity. Deity goes back to divine. We kind of know that.
okay. Is there any definition that we can get that could allude to or signify any type of ruler or leader or someone signified as a ruler or a leader that you know of?
As far as the definition, I have never seen one refer to God as necessarily a leader. But a ruler, yes.
All right, what was that? What would have been that translation or word?
If you mean the etymology of ruler, that means to straighten. Literally, I think, and I'm just going off my memory, but I can look it up.
Okay,
And I think
okay. So a God will
yeah,
be like
straight. It's that. I'm sorry, just to go get it
you
right here.
you
Straight
got it.
pattern, straight, a straight stick bar ruler pattern to straighten. Right from Proto-Indo-European. I will have to play this word for y'all to hear it. But yeah, Herigita, yeah, rule. From Middle
Okay,
English, rule, pretty much the straighten.
okay. Are God and Lord synonymous to your knowledge?
God and who?
Lord.
No, they're not.
Okay, they have no type of correlation.
Nah, not besides a misunderstanding and not besides them being a part of the Canaanite pantheon.
The words.
Yeah, no. They don't have no similarity. They don't have no connections. Lord and God, no. They're two different they're actually two different deities.
Okay, so when Christians say Lord God, what does that mean?
When Christians say it, they don't know what they're saying.
What does it mean?
What does Lord and God mean?
What does the Lord God mean?
Lord God, that's a dichotomy. Nobody should be saying that. Only people who saying that are people who are not knowledgeable on what these words mean.
I'm asking you, what does it mean?
Okay, so Lord means Yahweh. God means El. Elohim, the elongated Eloah. God, Genesis 1:1 is going to translate first to Elohim, it's the plural. You bust down that etymology, it's going to take you to Aloha, which is elongated. El is the head of the Canaanite pantheon. You can liken him to the head of the Sumerian pantheon with Anu. Lord, on the other hand, is always translated to Jehovah or the Tetragrammaton, right? Who is Yahweh, or Yah in the Canaanite pantheon. So when Christians are saying Lord God, they are conflating two deities ignorantly. Would you agree?
Okay. I don't have it to agree. That's your scholarship. I have to look into it. So, okay. So what are we figuring out here?
Whoa. Who is Lord
Huh?
God in your scholarship?
I don't have scholarship on Lord God.
Okay.
I haven't done that. I know Malachi has. There are different people that
What does Malachi say?
that
Or
you
Dwight?
have. It's similar to what you spoke on of there being different beings. You have Yah, you have Way, you have Yahweh, you have Yahwehins as he called them. You have Adonai or Adon, Lord, and then you have Lord Adonai or Lord God.
Okay, that's Greek. We getting into Greek now.
Yeah, he went further. Well, my main thing is that we could be there on that all day, starting in the book of Genesis. I want to make sure I'm clear where we're headed. So we started with spirituality, we got to divinity, and did we come to a common ground on what the divinity aspect could have been that was expressed in that particular video? Is the reason I'm asking that.
I think we kind of we stopped at the root.
Okay.
And it was kind of the root for me. I don't know. We didn't kind of dig
I
into the root.
remember I thought was a pivotal word, a crucial word, God-like. And even if we just described and got the etymology and what you call the true meaning of God, to say God-like, if we went into the characteristics of certain gods, supreme beings, there are certain gods and characteristics of God that human beings would exemplify and exhibit.
Okay, so this is why we went in on God, right? But let me just ask you this. So, would you say the definition is the true meaning, or the etymology, which means true meaning, the study of the true meaning of words in Greek, or would the true meaning be the true meaning?
Was the third one, would the true meaning be the true meaning?
That was the second one. What the second one, the true meaning is the etymology. So would the definition be the true meaning, or would the etymology be the true meaning?
But you just said the true meaning is the etymology.
Yeah, correct.
Well, I don't know which of the two would be which, because I don't have any.
Etymology means the study of the true meaning of
I know what it
words.
means.
So it's
Again,
kind of, I understand it's confusing because it's like kind of like
no, it's
I'm
not
saying the
confusing.
same thing.
I'm giving you my answer. I don't know is my answer. I don't know what would be the true meaning of any of the words we speak.
No, okay. Well, obviously, the true meaning of the words would trump the definition because we have what's called semantic drifts, which is caused by contextual linguistics, which is pretty much we don't learn words by reading their etymology. We learn them by, seeing our parents speaking and repeating what they say and seeing the desired outcomes, right? So that's the semantic drifts of contextual linguistics. That's what the world is doing. The
Does
world don't
my
know what they're
answer
talking
not
about.
suffice?
Well,
I
no,
want to
no,
move forward.
it wasn't. It wasn't that it wasn't suffice. It was just that I'm breaking it down. The true meaning of the word is obviously going to be the root of the word, right? It's like genealogy. It's like your cousin can't be the root of your genealogy, right? So the origins are going to be always the root. So the first time this word was used, it's going to be what it truly means. So
Okay.
when we're
So
saying
you
God,
remember your question you asked me, right?
Yeah. Well, we was kind of going back. Did we get a general understanding? But yeah, I did ask you about the
The
which word.
definitions and the etymology, and which of the two are the true meaning.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you do know because it's in there. It's in there. The true meaning is obviously the true
No,
meaning.
I'm
The
telling you,
definition.
this is
Do
what
you
I'm
know
trying
what?
to get you.
Let me give you the etymology of definition. Definition means to settle upon. So now you know. So the word means the true meaning. It doesn't mean what people have settled upon it to mean through those, like I said, those semantic drifts. It means what it truly means. So now
Again,
going back to
that's what I'm
God.
trying to get you to see. With you saying that, I still don't know that. Does that
Well,
make
I mean,
sense?
yeah,
I'm
because
not
it's not in your
that you
scholarship
have to
yet.
understand that doesn't mean we still can't move forward. You're
Yeah,
trying to explain it
I
for
know,
me. I
but
already
that's what I'm
answered the
saying. It's
question.
not in your scholarship yet, so you can't really speak on it. But etymology should be in everybody's scholarship.
Listen,
Or if
etymology
not,
is in my scholarship. I still don't know it.
exactly. So if it's not in our scholarship, then that means we don't know what we're talking about. That means we're literally just from this
We
point
have
on,
to
we're
go
admitting
based
that we're
off of what
chatting.
other people say.
Say it again.
We have to go based off of what other people say.
Yes, and that's based off documented. Like so, we go like let's say syncretism, because I talk about syncretism a lot. This word was first documented to conflate with the Cretans, right? So we're going to have, except for the Proto-Indo-European words, because this is kind of like using those drifts and comparing them with the Proto, because there's no one Proto-Indo-European language, right? So they're getting all the information, the documented information. The first time these words are documented, a lot of them. That's why a lot of this shit goes back to like Latin roots, Greeks, Egyptians, and like the first written languages. Even though we know there's kind of some isolates there with the Egyptians and Sumerians.
Okay. I want to be able to move on because again, you're going to give me a lesson on something that I still don't know myself. You with me? I can learn it to regurgitate it. I can settle upon it. I don't know it. Even if you say this is the true meaning, you're just saying that. I can go and look it up and find it in 1,000 books. That doesn't mean it's true. And so what I would use is application. If I can apply this word to this science to get this result, then I'll use it. If I can put the block of ice in this pan and turn the heat on, and it'll become water, I'll do that. Other than that, if you're asking me which is the true meaning, the etymology or the definition, I don't know. I know the words we have are here for us to use. I know that. I know that people, like you said, either settle upon the definition or they settle upon the etymology. I know that. I can observe that and see that in real time. We just saw that. But
Bro,
moving forward, I don't know personally because I wasn't there. All I have
nobody.
is tools that can be used. Simple. It doesn't have to be your answer. That's just my answer.
Yeah. I understand that, and I understand that's where you come from. You come from a subjective perspective.
Let me stop you right there. I would like to move forward in what we have right here. I don't want to learn about my background from you. I want to move forward. So you asked me about that. I gave you an answer. The answer is I don't know.
Right. So
So
yeah,
all right,
so
okay, let's
this
move on.
wasn't about you. Well,
I don't want to talk
subjectivity and
about where I came
objectivity.
from, a subjective or objective background or perspective or none
No,
of that.
not on your background. This is just in general. Our scholarships.
Can you respect that I'm saying I would like to move forward to where we were?
To move forward to where we were. That's kind of moving backwards, but I got you.
Well, now we're not where we were.
Come on,
Let's
move
move
forward.
forward to where we were.
Yeah.
We were at definition etymology. My answer is I don't know. What we moving forward
Okay. Now we're moving forward
to
to.
godlike. Remember I said godlike was pivotal or crucial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we can. I don't think we can move forward if you don't have an understanding of what God is. Maybe you need to just do some research on that.
All right. Well then, all right. Next, okay? So the answer to your first question is no. I don't consider myself to be spiritual. I don't think that the deeming of whether or not we can move forward in the conversation is somebody's assertion of knowing what it is that they're speaking of. I think that a part of moving conversations forward is being able to come to common ground, whether or not someone agrees or disagrees with your position. That's what I thought growing up. Maybe I need to grow up some more. But the point is,
But you don't
I
know
don't,
to agree
I
or
don't,
disagree.
huh?
You don't know to agree or disagree. You admit it. You
Yeah,
admit it to ignorance in that.
that's a position.
You admit it to not knowing.
That's a position. Do you
of
disagree with that,
ignorance.
or
So
you
that's why
agree
I
with
said
it?
we can't speak on things you're not aware of. That's why I went.
Listen,
That's why I went
we didn't
to
even have to have awareness to look up definitions. All we had to do was just look it up,
yeah. But you're not
and then we're
knowledgeable
gonna
of
either
these things. You can
settle
look
on
it
it
up.
or
I
what we're
would
gonna
love
get.
for you to look this up right now.
Look what up?
Look up God.
We just did that.
No, no, I did it. When you went back on your etymology, you used God in the etymology, which is not there.
Okay, here's the situation. We did that together.
Actually, yeah, I was the one who looked it up. Every single word that you wanted to go back and forth about, I typed it in and searched for it. So thank you very much.
We did it. We did it together. So, my look,
So
again,
I don't
if
know what that's not refuting my point that
I'm not
God
here
is
to
not in
refute your
the
point,
etymology
that's
of
why
God.
you're right. You're right. Okay, so let's go back to where it can help us move forward. Okay. No, I don't consider myself spiritual. And in that video we played, I didn't say that I was spiritual. If you're asking about divinity, we attempted to define it. I thought we were moving somewhere with that, but you want me to accept more definitions than what we pulled up. You want me to keep looking? I'm like, okay, I feel that we've reached a point. I feel that we reached a point of understanding of what a God could be. I feel like we reached an understanding or a point of understanding of what God like could mean. Based on what it could mean or what it could be, I would like to move forward with that. But if you're saying that I must accept that your understanding is to be mine so I can know it, then I think we should move on from that point. What do you think?
Yeah, never said what you must do, but I think if you're going to have a conversation on something, you should know the true meaning of the words, and you shouldn't just infer or conflate. Because,
Okay,
like I said, with the
I respect
definition,
that. I respect
mm-hmm.
that. I respect what you think. And here's what I think. What you think is what you think, and what I think is what I think. And when we're talking about things that were here before we even arrived on the planet Earth, if we're going to deal with something, we're going to deal with its application, like English. You and I are both speaking English. We know how to apply it. We can get certain results out of that application. If we're not going to move forward with the understanding or the comprehension of what God like could mean, then I don't understand what would have been the point of delving into divinity to replace spirituality, which you confused at first. I didn't confuse that. So let's move on. Are there any questions?
No questions at all. I'm just saying when we're using the words, I see what you're doing. You're trying to say that
I'm not, listen, all I want
semantic
to know
drifts
right
are
now,
okay.
all I
They're not
want to know
okay.
right now
It's not okay
is,
to
are
speak
there
on
any
words.
other questions? You can grade me
Go ahead. My
later.
bad.
Grade me
I ain't
later.
know you
Grade me
talking. Go
later.
ahead.
Grade me at the end of the thing. All I want to know right now is, are there any other questions moving forward? Not just about this. We're done with that. I'm
I never
okay.
had any questions.
I'm all right with that.
When I came on, I implored you to stake a claim so I could debunk it.
Okay, that's not how you debunk.
Yeah, if you make a claim on something, I can debunk it.
I already made claims.
What claim
According to
did you
what you're
make?
saying, you should have a plethora of things to debunk.
What claim was made?
Why are you asking me that?
See, I'm saying, I knew I wasn't gonna get an answer. I knew it.
So
That's
you
why I was
came
so
here to
quick to
waste
reply.
time?
What claim was made?
You came here to waste time?
Another deflection.
Are you not deflecting by not just going into your debunking? The first thing failed, sure.
If I could get a claim, I could debunk. But you were running
Oh,
from making
okay.
a
So
claim.
let me help you. You ready? I don't make claims. Now debunk that. That's a claim.
All right, how about this? Because you're on the internet, ain't you?
No,
You're on the internet, ain't you? You give
no,
lectures, don't you?
no. I don't think
This
that's
is what I do.
intellectually honest to ask me that. So I'm just going to
This
say
is
no.
what I do. Let me find a lecture of yours, right?
That'll be fine.
And this is what I do. I go to random.
I was wondering why you didn't do that with mine. I saw a lot of other people's stuff. You didn't include me in that.
I'm really trying to focus on no shade, because you're cool. But I'm really trying to focus on
Like more radical spiritualists
I'm really just trying to focus on the ones
who
with
can actually be debunked. I'm with you on that.
yeah. You keep on trying to put words in my mouth. I love that. I love that tactic. It may work, but not here. No, I just try to focus on ones who have a larger following. That's all.
Wow. Well,
Listen.
you didn't hit the
Listen.
you didn't hit the nail in
You
the
can't say
coffin.
nothing. You
You
can't say
came for
nothing because
Oshun.
you
You
go
came
off
for
the
Oshun
mainstream
Hills.
artists. You go off the mainstream artists. You don't go off the underground Atlanta artists. Am I true? So you get it.
What?
You go after mainstream artists, right?
Oshun Hills is not mainstream.
So you beat for the
Neither
underground artists
is
as
Rod
well.
Hayes.
Who?
Rod Hayes isn't mainstream.
But Rod Hayes is very popular. I've seen videos of Rod Hayes consistently getting 30,000 views. Yours
You don't pay much
yours a
attention,
little
do you?
bit half of that.
Do you think Rod Hayes? You think more people know who Rod Hayes is than they know who Faise One?
Yes. And as far as like, listen, okay, so how I kind of got into this was with the pretendians. You're not necessarily a pretendian. The pretendian niche
It's
got
somebody who
us
claims to
online.
be an Indian, but they're not.
Correct. So that's kind of how this niche got in. So you're kind of in the algorithm with them because you was over there hanging with a young elder and shit.
That makes me a pretendian?
No, I didn't say that makes you a pretendian.
Okay, go ahead. Explain.
Yeah, you was hanging with them, and kind of as a default. I'm not saying you're guilty by association, but you're
That's what
still
you're
a
saying.
pseudo. You're still a pseudo. You're still a pseudo
Okay,
though.
explain how I'm a pseudo.
All
You
right,
just
let's
made a
see.
claim. I'm asking you to explain that claim.
48 minutes, and 4 seconds. In life is a video game with Faise One.
Yeah.
I know you didn't come up with that title, so we ain't gonna say nothing about that.
I came up with the title.
You did?
Yeah, life is a video game.
Okay.
That's me. Why did you
Life is
say
a
you
video
know
game.
that
You
if you didn't
came up
know
with
that?
the title.
Why did you say you know I didn't come? You're wrong. I came up with that title. Why you say that?
I mean, I was assuming it was Young Elder's page. So a video is a multimedia format that combines moving visual images and often sound to convey information. A multimedia format. That's what life is. Life is not a game, y'all. Life is very much real.
Where's your thing? The thing.
From literally at one point in time, the ruler Caesar had women cut open.
Yeah.
I'm saying to cut. You understand? And anybody who was with child had to literally be cut open. So when you say Caesar, you're saying Caesar. You're saying to split something, Caesar.
Hold the fuck up, y'all. How did these niggas just say anything? You know you got a cult like following when you say some shit like that. Say that again. Say that. What do you say? Seesaw is Caesar?
He said Seesaw is Caesar.
Is that what
Play
he
it again.
said?
Play it again. Let's see.
The ruler Caesar had women cut open.
Yeah.
He was saying to cut. You understand? And anybody who was with child had to literally be cut open. So when you say Caesar, you're saying Caesar. You're saying to split something, Caesars. Go look it up. Secas in Latin.
All right. What's your question?
SECAS? Is that how it was spelled?
Saying
Look it
to
up.
split something, Caesars. Go look it up. Secas in Latin.
SECAS in Latin. We're looking it up. Can I pull this up? Let me show my screen. In Latin. See what it means to cut, you said? This is it? Caesar? This was Caesar?
What are we waiting on right here?
We're asking a question. A question mark usually comes with an answer to the person we're asking
Then
a
what's the
question.
point in holding up the thing to the? Just show it. I don't understand. You want what you want?
I'm
Crowd
asking a
response?
question. I don't know why what I'm showing has anything to do with the question.
Because the word "ceasus" is on your screen.
Okay, and you're conflating this with who?
I didn't make a conflation. Can you explain to me why you have it on the screen?
Literally, at one point in time, that moment. And all who observed him or looked at him and beheld that were able to have a rebirth. What is a seesaw? What is a C-section? And where did they get the Caesarian concept from? Literally, at one point in time, the ruler Caesar had women cut open.
Yeah.
Okay, so where the hell is the ruler at? Hello.
What you just try to do? Oh, the phone. I mean, what the phone do? Okay. Go ahead. What you said?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you're trying to conflate Caesar with the Caesarian with this word that has no roots in the ruler.
I didn't say that. Okay, go back. Here's what I challenge you to do. I challenge you to go back 30 seconds. You didn't hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
I challenge you to go back 30 seconds from where you started. If you want to go further, I'm with that. I have time. You can go an hour if you like. I challenge you to go back and say or show where I said this is the etymology of this word that makes it be the etymology of this word. It's also the etymology of that word. Where did I do a linguistic
That's a straw
line
man
of
argument
each
because I
word.
never said you did that. That's
So
a
what are you
straw man
talking about?
argument.
Help me out. What are you talking about?
That's a straw man argument. That's like me saying, go back and see when I ever chased that dog. That has nothing to do with
Okay,
what I'm
so then
talking
there
about.
was no dog chase, right?
Nobody ever mentioned a dog. Just
All
like
right, what was
nobody
your
ever mentioned
statement? I want to make
etymology.
sure I'm clear. What was your statement?
Just
Just so
like
I can see if
nobody
I'm
ever
clear.
mentioned etymology. You're
What was the
conflating the
statement?
Caesarean with Caesar, are you not?
No.
Now we can speak. We can know shit. And then that's when you start to evolve. Or become more like Eve. Like evolve.
Did you speed it up?
All right? And become more like
That is.
Did you speed it up?
How this thing said become more like Eve? Hey, and evolve. Come on, brother.
But do you hear yourself?
No, I'm hearing you.
And then that's when you start to evolve. Or become more like Eve. All right? Evolve.
Yeah. Where's the debunk? Help me.
Okay. Help him. So he don't know that evolve and Eve are not to be conflated as well.
What do you mean not to be conflated? Are you the dictator of how? Do you control teacher styles?
I control truth, nigga. Evolve. Well, where the hell do you see Eve and evolve? Latin. Evolve or unroll, unfold.
I didn't
You
say
become
nothing
like
about the
Eve.
definitions of words.
You become like Eve. Now he's using theology because he know y'all
What?
got Christian withdrawals. So he's
What?
using theology to conflate to sell this shit. You
No.
become like
Okay.
Eve,
All right.
not
All
Eve
right.
from the
Look.
Bible,
Look. Can I
right?
step in? Can I step in? Can I step in? Matter of fact. All right. Here we got a point. We have a point, right? Can you make a point so we can get a time limit? Make a point, and then I'll be quiet. Give you your time, and then I'll come in.
I don't need
What's
no
your point?
time. Eve and evolve do not share any linguistic similarities.
Okay.
They show
All right.
no
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
parallels.
Hold on. You got 2 minutes. Can you do a stopwatch? You got
No,
2
that was
minutes.
it. That was it. Period. That's it.
Huh?
Look,
All right. Make the statement again.
time. Eve and evolve share no linguistic correlations
Okay.
etymologically.
All right. Okay. You ready? We playing debate. My opponent states that Eve and evolve show no linguistic correlation. Yes? Is that affirmative or negative?
Come on, man.
Okay. All right. So
Right.
I never made the claim that Eve and evolve have linguistic correlation. As a matter of fact, if you listen not just to that teaching, to multiple teachers of mine, I take people to the meaning of Eve. Can we look that up? Can we get it? I got my people's on it right now. The meaning of Eve, we got right here. It says a living being, Hawa, or literally, he lived, living. Eve also means life, to live. Eve, Haya, to live. I think that's Nuwapic also, Semitic. Haya
Nuwapic
or
is not
Haya.
a language.
Oh, that's fine. We can deal with that another day. That's fine. I wasn't talking to you though. I was talking to somebody. How are you talking during my time?
You talking to somebody else.
During my time.
Okay, so what they got to do with me? You talking to somebody else.
Okay. So
Okay.
when I said Eve, living soul, living being, is not saying Eve just of the Bible. I don't know if you understand. I'm a Mason. So we deal with a lot of symbology and allegory.
Masons are
Okay.
pseudo too.
It's fine though, because if you're saying pseudo means allegorical, I'm
No,
okay with
pseudo
that.
means false.
All right, well then how are Masons false if you got real
Because
Masons
they
in
ain't
real
doing
life that
shit in there. What are y'all doing in there? You niggas ain't
wait.
doing nothing
I
in
think we
there.
proving you don't have composure because it's still my
Nah,
time.
this nigga said now you want to
It's
deflect.
still my
Nigga,
time.
Masons aren't do. You asked me a question and
This is your
interrupted me
second
to prove
time
that I
cutting
don't
me
have
off.
composure.
Okay, I can see your time.
See how he did that? He asked
Your
me a
time.
question
Go
and
ahead. You got 2
interrupted
minutes.
me.
Listen, I make my point. I never said it was linguistically correlated. Never said that. I've actually defined it over and over again, etymologically, and the actual meaning of Eve, Hawa, Haya, all over again, over and over again, to tell people that when we talk about becoming a living being or a living soul, we're talking about possessing enlightenment, like yourself, on any type of subject. I never said Illuminati was designated to one group of people. I told people what the word means and that anybody could possess enlightenment. If they went out to become a mechanic, they'll become enlightened in that regard. These are some of the things that I talk about. So no, I never said Eve and evolve are partner etymologically or linguistically.
Yeah, you can just become like Eve and evolve. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's,
got you.
that what you're looking for is phonetics. That's a phonetic equivocal. Similar to if I say the word bear and bear, they call them homophones. Similar to if I say, yeah, you got to deal with how do you deal with agents? You deal with agents with diligence. It's right there in the word diligence. It's how people can remember whatever it is that I'm teaching them. Remember PEMDAS? Please excuse my dumbass sister, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Do you have a dumbass sister, or do you have a dear Aunt Sally? No, but did you stand up and tell them teachers that doesn't make sense and that there's no linguistic equivocals that land in that plane? No, you just said, okay, my Aunt Sally will be excused.
All right. So Eve, like I
You'll be
said,
okay.
right?
Go ahead.
Eve
Your
and
turn. All
Evolve
right, hold
share.
on. Are you making a point? Because I'll make sure you get your time now.
Yeah, like we said, Eve and Evolve share no linguistic similarities or correlations.
Not only can we speak, we can know shit.
My fault, I put it too
Oh,
fast.
hold on. That's a done point then. We good. Go ahead.
It wasn't a point.
I agree with
It
your
was the
point.
same
I
point
agree
you
with
made.
your point. Hold on. I agree with your point. I never made that claim. Let's go.
Yeah, we never said you did. We literally played this shit.
Okay, well then if you just wanted to teach us that, I'm with you on that.
I'm sorry.
I said if you just wanted to teach us that, I'm with you on that. Thank you.
Or become more like Eve. All right, evolve. Oh shit. And then that's when you start to evolve. Or become more like Eve. All right, evolve. Become living beings. All right, and become more like Homo sapien. That's what the story is about. Right. So Caesar had a rebirth in that moment. And all who observed him or looked at him and beheld that were able to have a rebirth. What is a Caesar? What is a C-section? And where did they get the Caesarian concept from? Literally, at one point in time, the ruler Caesar had women cut open. Yeah. The same.
I'm waiting on you.
Yeah. I got time.
Hold on. Make a point. Hold on.
No. Okay, we're finna see where the term.
Hold on. I'm not being funny. I'm literally going. I got my wife phone. You know they put everything every motherfucking way. I don't know. Where's the stopwatch? The stopwatch. Okay. All right. Make a point. You got 2 minutes.
All right. So we going into. We just looking at this. We ain't made no point.
Okay. Stop. We're stopping the time. I'm waiting on you to make a point.
Yeah, we ain't made not 1 point. We going over your information to see if it's valid.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'll go to random time frames.
Yeah.
To see what's going on.
Well, what happened with the first one? Okay, we agreed on that. Eve and Evolve, that's not a linguistic.
Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah. I was just breaking down. You made it clear that you wasn't trying to make a linguistic comparison. That's what we did. We was doing the same thing.
All right, cool. Next point. Let's write that down in your notes. Eve, Evolve, X. Put an X next to it. It's all right. All right, I'm on you. Your time. I ain't starting the time. I'm just saying wherever you go, we go. Let's play.
Okay. So we get into what he says now. Caesar is where the Caesarian come from.
What did he say? I'm listening to it like you said it. Like you listening to it. What did he say?
What he said? He said, let's see where it come from.
We're able to have a rebirth. What is a Caesar? What is a C-section?
What is a Caesar and what is a C-section? These are 2 questions.
And where did they get the Caesarian concept from?
3.
Literally, at one point in time, the ruler Caesar had women cut open. Yeah. The saying to cut. You understand? And anybody who was with child had to literally be cut open. So,
okay, what are we doing?
I guess we're going to see is this a fact.
Okay.
So we are looking to see if
Will you fact check what I said? I said something about a seesaw, a cesarean section. But, you know, it's not just a C-section, they say cesarean. So let's look into cesarean section or C-section, see whether or not there's any type of debate, conversation of whether or not it comes from Caesar. The name, Julius Caesar. You got your computer? You ready? You loaded?
I mean, yeah, I kind of already pulled it up. It's the same thing that I pulled up in the etymology.
Why are you putting up etymology? Okay, I guess I can see why you're doing that. Okay.
I told you etymology is the true meaning of words.
You went, that's 2 words. There's a Caesarean section. So you went etymology on Caesarean section or it's just Caesarean?
Specifically, hold on, let me see. I went on the one you mentioned, but let's go on along. Let's go on Caesarean, let's go on Caesar.
Okay.
Because Caesar, his name should mean something as well.
Well, I didn't know we were looking up his meaning of his name.
Yeah, man, I don't know why y'all listen. How do we know what we're talking about if we don't know what these words mean?
Okay, I would stand like the importance of knowing word or accepting or settling upon word meanings. I thought we were trying to figure out whether or not what I said is a fact.
Yeah, that's how we do that. That's how we do that, by seeing where these words originate. So when
Okay.
we see, let me see.
When you looked up seesaw, did you find cut?
Yeah, I did.
Why didn't you say that?
I showed it.
Oh, okay. I
I
thought you would
showed
have
it.
made my point just as strongly as you make yours. That's godly.
No, but it doesn't make your point.
It
My
doesn't?
point, my point is that I believe you are conflating these terms. Like, let me show you. So I did show it. Uh, we went to Latin. I specifically remember showing Caesar. This is not. This is not for the root of Caesar, the ruler, though.
I
That's
didn't
why I
say
said
that.
you're conflating.
I didn't say that. No, to conflate is what is the definition of conflate?
You're trying to parallel these two words with Caesar. You're comparing Caesarian and
And
Caesar.
what, okay, and what, all I'm asking you to explain is in what manner am I conflating them if you're saying I am? Literally, allegorically, phonetically, what manner?
You're saying that they come from. And where do they get the
No,
Caesarian?
no,
Where they have a rebirth? You're asking where these words come from.
no, I'm not.
Where do they come
Prove it.
from?
Prove it. Prove that I'm saying that.
In that moment. And all who observed him and looked at him and beheld that were able to have a rebirth. What is a seesaw? What is a C-section? And where did they get the Caesarian concept from? Literally, at one point in time, the ruler Caesar had women cut open.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, prove that. Because other than that, we ain't going nowhere. Prove that real quick. Make sure I'm telling the truth on that.
So yeah, that's the proof. The proof is you're conflating these words.
Make sure I'm telling the truth on what I just said.
On Caesar having women cut open?
Yeah, and the Caesarian section being related to Caesar, Julius Caesar. Prove that. You said you want to see whether or not that's fact. I'm waiting on you to do that.
There's no evidence that Julius Caesar. Oh, hold on. That's exactly where it's born. Hold on, sorry. This is on his being born. Hold on. Appreciate y'all waiting for me. I had to upload this shit again. Okay.
So we got time. I got time. I got time. While you looking up that, can I pull up some stuff too?
I got you. It
Okay.
says I don't know why it's steadily trying to put him in the picture. It's not because he underwent or performed the procedure. Some speculate, again, bro, it's talking about he was born via C-section. It's considered myth. His mother Aurelia lived long after his birth.
Okay. So why is it called a Caesarian section?
Caesarean section, let me see, delivery.
Why is it called a Caesarian section? The term Caesarian section is believed to have originated from ancient Rome. According to legend, Julius Caesar was born through a surgical procedure in which his mother's uterus was cut open. The procedure was later named Caesario sectio in Latin, meaning to cut Caesar. Okay.
What was the word? What was the Latin word?
Caesario sectio.
Is that
Caesarea.
spelled? Is that spelled Caesareo?
CAE. The way they spelled it is CAESAREA sectio.
I got you.
Roman law. Okay, at the time, the procedure was performed only when the mother was dead or dying as an attempt to save the child for a state wishing to increase its population. Roman law under Caesar decreed that all women who were so fated by childbirth must be cut open, hence cesarean. Okay, do I need to show it? Okay, we got Birth Injury Help Center.org. Just said that Roman law under Caesar decreed that all women who were so fated by childbirth must be cut open, hence cesarean. It's right there on the screen. People also ask, okay, are cesarean sections named after, despite of what pop history tells us, cesarean sections were not named after the Emperor Julius Caesar, who was reportedly born via a C-section. The term cesarean is derived from the Latin word caesar's, meaning to cut. Okay, there's an opposing statement. The term cesarean section is believed to have originated from ancient Rome. According to legend, Julius Caesar was born. Okay, so there's some debate amongst that. There's some debate about it. Similar to Aisha's age, is debate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to see that. I'm gonna look up that PubMed article under there.
The who?
It was a PubMed article right there. You had
Hold on. What?
There we go right here. No, I got it. Cesarean delivery. I think that's what it is. The cesarean section.
You saying am I scrolling?
No, I was
past
talking
it?
about a site. NCBI. It's a .gov site right here. The one where it says National Institute of Health.
Oh, National Library of Medicine. What do you see National Institute of Health at?
Let me see what that.
I don't know, man. I'm literally.
My bad. I'm looking at my computer. I'm looking at mine.
All right. Yeah. So far, I'm seeing where they got that from. Roman law.
It's okay. That's a thrower. That's a toss up. Caesar is in it. Caesar is in it in the cesarean. You have
and Caesas means to cut.
And Caesas means to cut. Even though there's no well, when I look up the word, you said you looked it up. What was that on?
What? The Caesas?
The first definition you put up.
I didn't. It's on my wife's phone machine.
That was with how did they spell it? They spelled it with a CE. That was the one that spelled CAE.
Oh, I'm gonna look. Caesas meaning or etymology. That's SECAS. Let me look. Okay, we get. This is Hungarian. I don't know how we got Hungarian.
No, yeah, okay, yes, that's the one I was looking at. Okay, that's the one they pulled up.
Yeah, Hungarian.
Yeah, that's the one I looked up.
Hold on.
It got a Latin version. It got a Latin version. That's the one I was talking about. Wiktionary. I feel like that's a better site than Edema Online.
And how are we getting?
It's conflicting because I read that same article too. It kind of alludes to myth, belief, and pretty much is. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm not gonna say I'm debunking you on that.
I understand. So we see Cesare, we see Caesar, we see Seesaw. All that's saying to cut. Okay, so then
I just don't. Yeah, the only thing I don't see SECAS. I mean, yeah, I don't see SECAS. I don't see that mentioned with Caesar.
I saw it, but she had to come back in.
Well, yeah, I think it was the first one you had. I think it was the first one you had when you mentioned it.
Yeah, the term. Let's see if I can pull it up. According to AI Overview, well, y'all can fact check that. I don't mind. The term "caesas" in Latin is a form of the verb "caesare." According to Latin, it's simple. Yeah, so but they got different variations of the word, though. You got "caesas," "caesare," "caesas."
Yeah, that's what I got. I got from Caesars. It goes take me to Proto-Italic, Seco, Proto-Indo-European, Sick, to cut, Slavonic, to cut, hack, chop, and ultimately the Old English, even to saga. And this was from the words you used.
Okay. So before we move forward, I wanna brief you about 30 seconds on my teaching style. One of my teaching styles is the phonetic equivocals. I'll find phonetic equivocals that seem to have some type of correlation, even if in allegory. And I'll teach people a sense of application that they can apply with those sciences. I learned that from growing up in the sacred orders and being a Mason also when I became 16, looking at how Masons are not, I know you might say Masons because it's a general statement, or pseudo all this other stuff. I'm not a pseudo person. I learned about allegory and how you can teach an allegory in a fable, lore, any kind of different types of writings you can put to people and say, hey, this means this, or this story is saying this. And at the end and the beginning of each of my teachings, I talk about the application of what it is that I'm saying. And it also becomes like a melody in people's minds that they can remember. Same thing what we learned when we were learning not algorithms, but acronyms and giving points of references from certain stories to go back, like the stone soup, to go back and figure out about certain messages. So when I line up stuff like that, it's not a claim. I know the difference between etymology and allegory and phonetics. There's not a claim that says this word is coming from this, even though sometimes when things line up, even phonetically, they do come from certain words that were there beforehand. And you just saw an example of that. So you can still go to whatever you want to go to, random spots, keep going with that one. I just wanted to be clear that you're going to question me on it, and I'm going to say, I didn't say that. It may sound like that because you just listen, especially if you come in the middle, but I always explain, this is what I'm breaking down, this is why I'm breaking it down, this is how I'm breaking it down. Even down to life is a video game. Okay, my life is a storm cloud. Am I literally saying my life is a storm cloud? No, I'm not. Unless you're saying that teachers out here or teachers in there and the universities are forbidden from using metaphors and similes and things like that, then okay, I have to agree with you on your standpoint, meaning that's your standpoint. I can't debate you on that. If you feel like we shouldn't use that, then that's your standpoint. I agree, that's your standpoint.
That actually is.
Okay, that's not my standpoint.
But let me ask you a question just to entertain this, right? Because there's parables, there's similes, metaphors in the Bible.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a possibility that in your teaching style, right, whether it be benevolent as possible, do you think that it's
that people can mistake it for literary?
Correct. Because
Yes.
it's already this 5D
Yes.
projecting into the 3D realm, video, holographic. I'm pretty sure you heard of that.
Oh, I didn't say that. That's not my
Yeah,
thing.
I'm pretty sure you heard of that before, right? So somebody can easily, saying, oh, yeah, it's a video game. I'm a hologram, but let me just crash out.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, they could. And I tell people, for that same reason, for that same type of result that people will come to, don't just believe what I'm saying. Check out what I'm saying. Investigate what I'm saying. If I tell you you could put some water in here and it's going to do this, and you put it in there, don't do that. You could test it a few more times and then make a decision on whether or not you're going to keep listening to what I'm saying. I tell people, don't believe what I'm saying. Don't take what I'm saying and just run with it. And I also say, this is what it means when I say this. I don't just, when we talk parables, most people try to do that, right? They try to run with parables so they can sound deep. And also they try to run with parables to avert or divert from having to explain things from a sound standpoint. I don't do that. I was taught with parables, you're able to pair. It's in the word. You're able to pair this with something else. If it's not pairable, how is it a parable? You still have to explain what it is. You're not just giving it and saying, okay, here go the fig tree. And have niggas looking for fig trees. That's why people are confused now. No, I say, here goes here's the smooth ashlar, rough ashlar. That don't mean go out there and look for stones that are smooth and stones that are rough. That means you're the rough ashlar and you can become smooth. That could be through gym. That could be through eating right. That could be through meditation and fasting. That could be through what you're doing, if that's what you're doing, studying and getting into the information and the linguistics and archaeology, all of that, world history, sociology. You could do all of that. Okay, then you're refining yourself. So the smooth ashlar science is about refinement. If somebody comes and they waiting and sitting at the door looking for an ashlar to be smooth and it never comes, or they waiting on Jesus to come back because they don't understand a parable and they didn't take heed to the keys that were given of it, I can't do anything about that. My main thing is, don't just listen or believe anybody. I'm not excluded. Neither is Dr. Malachi. One more thing I'll say. I had a group of people come over here June 20th. I did a show. It was a private show. Had like maybe like 20-some people come. And some of the brothers were standing out there with me. And they were asking, or actually came after that, the day after that. The brothers were standing out there. I'm asking them questions. They asking me questions. And one of the brothers said, y'all was debating this Yiddish person or this Yiddish person. And he would have tore me up if I ain't have any WAP or right knowledge. I said, okay, well, I said, let's see. I said, you are a Christian person. You act as a Christian person. I'm going to question you. And I questioned him. I grilled him. And then after that, I said, okay, good job. I said, you did a good job. Next person was talking. I said, okay, you're a Muslim. You come in and talk to me as a Muslim. I taught him on certain things. Islam, he didn't understand it. So, okay, I grilled him. Then he got it. I said, good job. Then somebody came. I said, you are a spiritual person. You come and debate me as a spiritual person or talk to me as a spiritual person. He sat in the chair. I grilled him, asked him questions, da, 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 da. And guess who else? Somebody else said, I said, you are a Nuwapian. You come sit in the seat as a Nuwapian and let me ask you questions. And I know they thought that if they're saying they're a Nuwapian, I'm going to go easy on them. No, I went the hardest on the one claiming they're a Nuwapian. What you saying about Malachi York? What you know about this, that? I'm not going to give it away because I told them I'm not going to give these people the questions they got to ask. Y'all have to learn how to ask the right questions, make the right challenges, wipe your mind clean, especially when you come in and meeting new people. You can't just be debating or challenging based off of the pretenses that you ran into with this person or the precedents that you set with this person. Every person should be a new slate because you don't know what they know, what they don't know. You don't want to be baited. That's what I was teaching them. So the main point is I challenge everybody and everything. And that's how I got to this point. So when you say 9 ether, I don't believe in that. But Dr. York taught that. You must. No, I mustn't. You say Anunnaki. I don't know who those people are. They never came to me. Dr. Malachi York might say that. I don't know whether or not he's telling the truth. But I can't say he's not telling the truth if I don't know whether or not he's telling the truth. I think it's interesting, so I'll talk about it, I'll teach about it, but I still tell people, when people come and talking about it and ask me about it, I say, I don't know who those people are, they ain't showed me. Or I don't know that, oh, you see Inky is here? I don't know if that's Inky or not. That's how I approach things. Go ahead, you got. I don't know if you still there or you left. Did you say fuck this shit? I'm out.
No, no, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just cut it short because I was listening to everything you said, digested it all, and it don't matter if it could be anybody speaking on the corner. I'm gonna try to transmute it, right? I'm gonna just do this. There's no supernatural, right? There's only objective reality. Reality is measured by our senses. What we can see, touch, taste, feel. That's objectivity, right? There's no way to measure that supernatural. There's no way to measure the soul, the spirit. These are, in fact, concepts that was created by Greek philosophers. So when we try to conflate these things, being that, we speak English and we was colonized by English-speaking peoples, we are using these words contextually, meaning we using the context clues. We don't know what they mean. If I ask the whole chat right now to define spirituality, you're not going to see two similar answers. Define soul, you're not going to see two similar answers. Define God, right? So on and so on, because these concepts we've been indoctrinated in. There's no Atlantis. It's all. I'm just saying that all the supernatural stuff that gets chatted about by this conscious community is not real. It's escapism. Maybe it's from some type of depression, some type of traumas. I don't know what. We all have our little personal issues we go through, but when we talk about things that are real, and we talk about life, like existing after life, I don't know if y'all ever been to a funeral, but those things are real. Energy never dies, though, right? It's neither created nor destroyed. You know what happens to that energy. You know what happens. It's called decomposition, right? As the body decomposes, you know what happens to that energy. So me, as a black person, I'm trying to look out for all black people, trying to get us to unite. And the only thing we can unite in, we can't unite in spirituality because it's subjective. Everyone's going to have their own anecdotal perspective, the same way that they do with their relationship with quote unquote God, right? So that's why 607 he's gonna have his following. People are gonna be able to agree with him, smoke him, phase him, BDL
No,
him,
I got to
Rod
stop you
Hay,
there.
all these people.
Look. Let me jump in. Excuse me. I don't claim spirituality. One more time. For the record, can you write it down for next time? I don't claim spirituality. I don't claim conscious. That doesn't even make sense because somebody knock you out, then you're unconscious. I don't claim these things. I understand or comprehend why people do, similar to what you're saying. If you're paying attention, a lot of what you just said on here, if people wanted to bear witness, I teach the same thing. So one thing I can vouch for is if this is your approach, I'm not your enemy. I'm not saying you have enemies. Let me word it differently. If this is your approach, I'm not your opponent. And I don't know if you'll be able to understand it or not or comprehend it or not, Neither is Malachi Yor. He's not your
No,
authority.
yeah, no, yeah, no,
Hold on,
I
hold
don't.
on, hold on. You haven't been able to speak to him yet. You're able
I
to
don't
speak
have
to me.
to. He speaks for himself.
Well, what school? What school are you referring to?
I'm not talking about school. I'm talking about what I've heard from his mouth.
Yeah, which? Okay, what was he teaching when you heard it?
What I've read from his books.
What? Okay,
A lot of fictional stuff. I remember I don't really have too many I don't have too many Nuwabians come up on my live. But I remember one dude came up on and he had us going through it and the holy tablets.
okay,
He had me go through the holy tablets and I debunked like 3 parts before I just gave up. I just if people want to believe in it. I
okay.
think
Well,
the part
look.
where he was talking about
Uh-huh.
the one that comes to mind, I think he was talking about how the dog came to be or it's a certain animal or the pig, how the pig came to be. And it was 3 different animals to create the pig. I was like, yeah, man,
That's religious.
it's fictitious, is what it is.
Even if it is, that's he didn't.
I
Okay,
mean,
like let me ask you.
I just talk about the facts, bro. I'm an empiricist. Like I'm in the real world,
Then
bro.
you're not against him because he would debunk his
Yes,
own books.
you can't be making up your language, bro.
He didn't make up a
Dude
language.
made
What
up a
language did he
language.
make up?
Dude put a WA in between Nubia, bro.
What does that mean? What does the word "new" mean?
I don't know what you're trying to get at, but I'm just saying he can't. He
No, I'm
literally put a
asking. I'm
2
asking.
letters.
I'm really asking right now. What is the
I
word?
don't.
I'm not
To
trying to get
me,
at anything.
as a black person, that's comprised of 100 tribes of West and Central. I don't care what East
What
Africa
does
got
the
going on.
word "noob" mean? Can we be scholarly, intellectually honest?
I don't know what your aha moment is about. But
It's
you
not an
hear me?
aha moment. It's no gotcha.
But you hear me though?
What is the meaning of the new above the 3-part root? Newebe.
What does East Africa have to do with Black Americans?
You're not going to answer. Do you know?
You're not going to answer. Do you know?
I asked you a question first.
I asked you a question.
You know I understand what that means, right?
If you want
You
to,
don't know what that.
if you want to let the people know what it means, you can let them know. But I'm just
I
saying it has no relevance to us.
You
We
don't
are
know
from
what the
West
word
Africa,
means.
bro.
How are you going to tell me he put something in between?
I'm telling you, he put because it's not a word. I'm
What's the
studying
3-part?
etymology.
What is a
Nuwapi is
3-part?
not a word.
What is a 3-part root?
There you go again. I'm like, if you want to
That's
say
not a
something, you can
hard
say
one.
it.
What is a 3-part root? You say he put something in between them.
I'm
What
like,
is
if
a
you want to
3-part
say,
root?
I'm just saying this is not a word
What
outside
is
of
a
this man
3-part
making it
root?
up.
Y'all pay
That is
attention because when you
literally
ask
what
me
pseudo
questions, if I
is.
didn't know the answer, I gave you I don't know. Or if I did know, I'm gonna speak on what I do know.
Yeah, that's you.
I'm
Thank you for
asking you
being
a
you.
question now.
Let me be me.
What is a 3-part root?
Let me be me.
That's a
If you want to
3-part
get
root.
if you got some type of fetish, a kink that you have to get words out of somebody,
Why are you
that's not
saying
my
words like
style.
fetish?
I mean, because I asked you a question, you deflected as well. So I don't get it. I don't
I
get it.
think I explained a lot. I answered a lot of questions.
I explained a lot.
Okay, so what is a 3-part root? You say he put the
I mean,
W
listen, I
and
don't
the A
see
there.
like we're not from Egypt, right? We never lived in Kemet, right?
Who is
We was
we?
never Nubians. We
Who
never
is
lived
we?
in
Who is
Sudan.
we? Who is we?
Black people. Are
Did
you
you ever
black?
ask me about my genealogy?
I don't care about your genealogy. If you're black, I can see you're black.
Okay, but you don't know whether or not my ancestry dates back to Nubia, do you?
I know it don't. If it don't, you're not black. So
Anything
regardless,
else?
you're sub-Saharan African, you're black. Black
I
us, it don't
could,
matter what you
but
is.
I'm like at this point, I'm like, okay, I
Listen,
want to see
do
if we
you
can walk
know
there. Listen,
70% of
we
black
got to take our
Americans?
time with this. I'm gonna go back. We're gonna go back and forth. We got to take our time with this. How would you know, looking at me, whether or not 4 generations ago I had Caucasians in my ancestry?
I know that. I know you did.
How do you know that?
Because I know black people. I'm
You know
black.
black people. That's how genealogy works.
You cherry pick. You can cherry pick your genealogy. You know that. You see how you focus on genealogy and you're not saying nothing about biology? I noticed that too.
If we go into biology, we're going to have to deal with the fact that human beings don't reproduce asexually.
What does that have to
That
do?
means that if I
What does
mix with
that
a,
have to do?
let me help you. Let me help you. I heard you. I heard the giggle and everything. If I
What does that
mix
have to
with,
do with anything, bro?
I'm trying to answer it. Do you not want the answer though?
That literally has nothing to do
Okay,
with nothing.
then why'd you ask what it has to do with it?
No, because it was rhetorical.
Because, right?
It has
So,
nothing to do with nothing.
all right, if
We
I
know that
mix
humans
in with a
don't produce
Caucasian person,
without having sex, bro.
if I mix it, then you shouldn't be worried. There's no reason to cut me off if you feel so strongly about that. Let me make a
No.
fool of myself.
I think
Let
sometimes
me make a fool of
we need
myself
to.
then. Let
I'll
you
let you
you
go ahead. Go
debunk
ahead.
what
You
I'm
don't
saying.
want. I was just trying
How
to take
about
a
this?
second
Here goes an
to
opportunity.
laugh at that shit. But go ahead.
Listen, here goes an opportunity. Debunk what I'm about to say. If I mate with a melanin recessive person, meaning a Caucasian, someone who possesses the melanin recessive gene, if I mate with them and our child comes out as what you refer to as biracial, right? Which is saying that the melanin recessive gene and melanin dominant gene are present and trying to compete with one another. If they go on to have another child with another melanin recessive person, that gene will recede again. And then after 3 generations, you will see someone who looked just like me go to looking just like Bill and Sally if we keep mixing in our gene with the melanin recessive person, mongoloid, caucasoid, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so then you're going to look at this Caucasian and say, I know Caucasian people. I know that either you don't have or you do have melanin, but you're looking at 2 Caucasians, one on the left, one on the right. One was a part of the pedigree that I just spoke on, or the lineage that I just spoke on, the ancestry I just spoke on. They're a descendant of that. And the other is someone that's foreign to the whole concept. And we just brought the 2 of them in. You're going to be able to tell me which one of them had melanin dominant people in their ancestry? I'm waiting on you.
My bad, I was on mute. Hold on, my bad. Yeah. I don't know how that's pertinent, bro. You're black. Like, you're black for a reason. You're black because your ancestors come ultimately from West Africa.
But what if my ancestors don't come from West Africa?
Then you wouldn't be black.
Black is a race.
Yeah. And that race is based off of sub-Saharan African phenotypes.
They're the only people that have it?
No, we're not. It's people. It's sub-Saharan Africans have a specific phenotype, but you may be. People may get confused, like how you talking about their recessive gene variant. So if a person is not, if they're not knowledgeable in genetics, then when they are talking about phenotypes, they're pretty much going off of lookership. So that means they're not going to be able to like tell you
The genotype.
why the epicanthic fold is there on some people, or why the MC1R gene is present, and why the TYR gene is present in some
Why
people.
is the MC1R gene present? Why is it there? Why is that receptor there, and why is it active?
It's producing new melanin.
Okay, you melanin. What happens when it mutates?
I mean, it turns various shades.
Like what? No, what happens when the MC1R mutates? The receptor itself. What happens when it mutates? What does it become?
It becomes brown and black pigmentations. You talking about recessively?
What happens when it mutates?
Because we have to understand mutation. We're all going through mutation. Mutation doesn't stop. So mutation doesn't just go backwards, and it doesn't just go forward.
What's above the MC1R?
Above?
Yeah, what's the advancement?
Advancement? I mean, I think you may be asking for like the
What? Okay, so
hold on. SLC, you may be asking for SLC either 452A or the 24A2.
what is that?
This is the melanin. This is the lack of melanin in the melanin genes.
It's the lack of melanin in the melanin genes.
Yeah, it's two different ones. Let me see. SLC 452A is yeah. So this is going to be the one for lighter skin pigmentation. That'll be
Okay.
the SLC 45A2.
Okay. What about the R151C?
That sounds like I'm just going off the R1. I don't know the subclass. I don't know what the subclass is for on that. But the R1 sounds like some shit that happened in Eurasia. So I don't know if that's for the eyes or yeah, I don't know. It kind of sounds like more so of a haplogroup though.
So the R151C variant refers to a specific mutation in the MC1R gene, also known as RS1805007. The variant is strongly associated with red hair and fair skin due to its impact on melanin production. The reason why I'm asking that is because that's a recession. Okay, that's when it recedes, or when it mutates, or there's a variant that goes, like you said, backwards. What is happening beyond MC1R that's moving forward? We see. Listen, before you answer that,
I don't
You
get
spoke
what you're
about.
saying by
Hold on,
moving
hold on,
backwards
hold
and
on. Let
forward.
me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So you spoke on MC1R, the receptor or the gene that allows for the production of eumelanin. I heard you. So I asked you what happens when this mutates, and you said it doesn't just mutate one way; it mutates forward and backward. So I'm asking, what would be the forward mutation or variant of MC1R if R151C is a variant of MC1R that yields pheomelanin?
It would honestly be based on the environment that those people would be in.
Give me an example.
It's crazy because I was just having this inquiry. A person with that RS1805 gene variant or a receptor, they could have them in a whole little family or a whole offset, whole little tribe. They can live in sub-Saharan Africa, and it'll probably take tens of thousands of years, but they would adapt and they would get that forward progression
Which would just
of
be MC1R.
yeah.
So where?
But this is a query. This is a query. Of course, this has never happened.
Yeah, I'm asking you, where would it happen? How would it happen? Wait, first of all, before we
it
even
would
get to
that's
that,
how it would have to happen. It would have to happen like that.
okay, I think I understand what you're saying, that there could be different geographical variations or changes that could cause for an upregulation in that gene, if the word upregulation be an advancement in that gene from melanin recessive to melanin dominant. What I'm asking is, what is the one that goes beyond melanin dominant? We have MC1R, that gene or that receptor that produces the melanin that's called eumelanin, the strong and firm bringing together of carbon compounds, melanin, the melanin, the hydrogen, oxygen, all of that. We see that there. Where would it go further? You said it goes not just backwards, it goes further. Where
Yeah, I
would it
mean
go further?
that's it. I mean, like we talking about dark skin. We just talking about darker skin at that point.
But that's okay. So you're saying that
I don't think it's going to mutate for like beyond you melanin. Is that but like I don't know.
that's what I'm asking, because you make a statement that says that there's a backwards and forward mutation. So okay, I don't see a forward one. I understand the backwards one or the regression or the
Yeah,
recession.
okay, yeah. No, just in general, just the MC1R when we specifying these genes, the gene variants, they're going to be like I think the red hair. I was just fucking talking about this the other day, but I think the red hair is in a specific region. I think it was what's the red hair people called? Either the Scottish or the Irish or whatever. So it's in a specific region, and it's not necessarily. I say the environment, but it's a lot of things that go along with the environment, like the food
Yeah,
and
the food, the things you eat, things you drink,
So
habits.
yeah, I didn't want. I mean, I wasn't trying to just get caught up on that. I was really specifying
I know what you were specifying, so that's why I
if
want to get it
we are
clear
black.
before we move forward, because I was going to ask you, did the Nubians that you're saying that Pops put the, or Malachi put the WA, all that, we can get to that another time, that the Nubians possess the melanin dominant or the melanin recessive gene?
Yeah. They have melanin. They have dark new melanin. The Nubians and Sudanese.
I'm asking, is the gene that was the most prevalent or appeared the most in their being or in their biological composition, was it melanin recessive or melanin dominant?
Dominant.
Okay, well then you're looking at me. I have the melanin dominant gene. I have the one CR, or what do you call it, the
MC1R.
MC1R. I have the MC1R. I have the U melanin. I have everything that you're saying. I have the, even down to the type of hair, even though that can vary. And even,
Oh no, you got the same kind of hair as them.
huh?
Is is it Sudanese?
No, I say that can vary.
Or the, or
I'm
you
not, and I'm
saying the
not just using
Nubians?
myself as an example. You're right. I said it can vary because you got different degrees of that. My hair isn't as coarse as they call it. Is more toward the fine side, right? Even though it's still woolly in appearance. What I'm saying is the Nubians, as we're referring to, or the people of Nubia, they also possess the melanin dominant gene. So whether we go on West Africa, Ethiopia, it seems that a lot of these people still would have had the melanin dominant gene. So when you're saying black, I'm not thinking black. I'm thinking if I look at somebody that possesses the melanin dominant gene, there's a possibility that they could be from any of these places that would have at that time had people there, inhabitants who had the melanin dominant gene present. It doesn't just stay in sub-Saharan Africa or West Africa. It's not just over there. It's all over the landmass called Africa. Some people say Akibilan, whatever they want to call it. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's still whoever was there at that time, especially according to what these historians say, or these archaeologists claim, they were melanin dominant people. So again, to say that I'm black means I'm from West Africa, no, that wouldn't be scientifically true.
Yeah, so damn, man, I thought you was more elevated than that. Yeah, black does not mean dark skin. Black, when they was coming up with these terminologies, I'll pull up the map where Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, German philosophers.
So then why would you say I'm black?
Because you can tell, oh yeah, he's African. The same way
No,
we can
no,
see
I'm
a
saying
general African.
you said I'm listen, you said it don't have nothing to do with the skin. Or it
Do
doesn't
you
mean
think?
that the skin. So I'm asking you, when you look at me and say you're black, how do
Yeah,
you
I'm not talking about
determine
your
it?
skin. Yeah, I'm not talking about your skin.
Okay, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about you culturally, you ethnically.
Okay, culturally and ethnically are two different things.
Well, yeah, but majority of black ethnic people are black culturally, right?
What does that mean?
What does black culture mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What is black
Because wouldn't
culture?
somebody that's from Ethiopia come and be able to come and integrate themselves and become a part of black culture?
Oh, we got an example of that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Nipsey Hussle did that.
Okay, so he's black. Is he black?
Was he black to you?
That's not what I'm asking.
I mean, we're having a conversation. I mean, I'm just asking you the same question. When I first seen Nipsey Hussle, I thought he was a foreigner.
So I'm asking, based off of what you're saying, you're able to class people up and categorize them based off of whatever your awareness is or knowledge base. Was
Knowledge base.
Nipsey Hussle, or is Nipsey Hussle black?
He was partially black.
Is what? Well, you're not
See,
talking about the race.
his mom black. His mom
Okay.
black.
His mother is melanin. Where's his
But
mother?
when I seen him, I didn't think he was just mixed.
So okay, his mother is melanin dominant or black, as you're saying.
They both melanin dominant, but his mother's from America. His mother's a black American. His father's from East Africa, from Eritrea.
So his mother's from America. His father's from where?
Eritrea.
Who?
Eritrea.
Eritrea. Okay, so then he's both.
Right.
He has that origin. As far
Yeah,
as that gene.
that's kind of. But if he was just full blown, like I assumed when I first seen him, I say, nah, that nigga something else.
So which one of us is full blown? What are you full blown? Are you full blown anything?
Yeah, we full blown black.
No, not me. Speak for you, please, because
We full blown black. That means that all four of your grandmothers. I mean, I say all four. I do got four, but all your grandparents, all four of your grandparents, are American.
all four of my grandparents are American means I'm black.
Black Americans, yes. No, black means of African descent. You do know that, right?
But you just said they're
Sub-Saharan African
American.
descent. Yeah, we the ones who they was calling black. So let me just break it down. The Portuguese and Spanish, they was using Negro at first. We the first people that get called black by the English speaking people. Black and Negro in Spanish is the same word. So when they come up with these races, they were saying they gave us regions too. So white was North Africa, yeah, Europe and parts of the Middle East. Brown was Southeast Asia, right? Brown, yellow was China, the East Asia. Red was the Native Americans. Black was sub-Saharan Africans, right? So the Aymanas, the Dravidians, the Negritos, these people, even though they have woolly hair, and we want to say that they're black because we have a little limited understanding of what this word means. It means sub-Saharan African. So when they're talking about black, we are the first black people. Anybody else who wants to conflate themselves with that, that's cool.
So then let me ask you this. How would you know that my four grandparents are from America?
I won't. I don't.
So why are you assuming that I'm black?
I didn't assume. You said talk about me. You asked me what my definition is. But if you're majority. If I would say, even if you have majority of your grandparents are African, because I'm not on no FBA tether shit with y'all. You know what I'm saying? You black. Even if you are 3/4, you black.
And what if I'm neither?
You're not black.
Okay, thanks.
I can tell you black based off your phenotype.
You just said you can't do that though.
No, I said you can't do it if you don't know what you're doing. If you ain't studied genes.
Even if you study genes, you remember we don't reproduce by ourselves.
I don't get why you said that.
Because I could have Caucasoid, Mongoloid ancestry.
I don't know what Caucasoid is, but you definitely have Caucasian. Black people have Caucasian admixture.
Everybody?
So far.
Everybody
So far.
How did you get that? How did you come to that number? That everybody, 100%, has Caucasian
By
ancestry.
studying.
And
Right?
they
You can
said,
pull up
by the
that
way,
same.
everybody, by the
Pull up
way,
that
we fucked
same.
everybody's
Yeah,
ancestors, and that's
I
how
think
y'all got here.
the highest I've seen is 90%. That was crazy. I think Emmett Smith is at 88%. But I can pull up the PubMed health study right here.
Even if you do, I just want to point this out to you. You're pulling up somebody else shit. You don't know this.
This is everybody who studied. This is everybody who has their DNA.
Let me ask you a question. It's a real question. Not that the other questions weren't real, but this is definitely a real one. If you study some shit, that means you know it.
If you study, you need to study it.
What if you study the wrong shit?
You hit up pseudo.
Or you got the wrong information, misinformation. You don't even have to be trying to persuade anybody or teach anybody anything. You could just have the wrong information.
Yeah, you got to have the proper methodology to know something.
I just want to stop you right here. What you teaching or what you saying to me about, I'm black, that goes against what my grandmother taught me. That goes against what my great grandmother taught me.
What did they do? Did they go to school?
No, they had records of their family.
Did they? So your great grandmother could read?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Do you think everybody
how
can
did she learn to read? Did she go to school? Your great grandmother went to school and learned how to read?
I don't know. My mother said she can answer those questions. Hold on, let's let the question press for a second. She can answer that. Did great granny know how to read? Did my granny know how to read?
Did they go to school?
Did they? Not only did they go to school, did my grannies? We can go 3-4 generations back. Did my grannies know how to read? Were they in school of any kind, not just Americanized school systems? Were they in school of any kind? And did they teach you that we came from people who were enslaved or anything like that?
Oh yeah, it was a indentured servant. At least a indentured servant. Yeah, at least.
Either way,
in the Southeast.
Look, again, either way, she can
all
answer
in the
that.
Southeast.
Only one who gonna know certain things, because every generation, a lot of us lose a lot of information, which is why I'm not confirming nor denying what you're saying. I'm just saying, for one, you can't just look at phenotype, because there's been so much mixing over time.
I said that.
Okay, well then we agree. So, and you agree with Malachi?
Studies consistently show that the average African American has a majority of their ancestry from Africa, estimates ranging from 73 to 80%. Notable portion of African Americans also have European ancestry, generally around 20-25%. Native American ancestry, while smaller, some African Americans also have Native American ancestry, typically around 1%.
Okay, how much percent of Native American ancestry do I have?
I don't know.
How much percent of European ancestry do I have?
I can tell you the general.
No, me. Now I'm asking about me.
Generally around 20 to 25%.
No, me. You
I'm
general
telling
again.
You, generally around
no,
20
that means you're relying on the statistic to make the claim.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to show your ancestry, that's what I would have to do, or else you're just asking me like.
All I'm asking you about is about whether or not you have the objective awareness of this answer.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
Not based off statistics, based off what you know.
Black, bro. What this dude's trying to say is he can be white and look black. Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to get me to say? No. You're black because you look black. There's nobody that looks black that's not black.
So then does black mean melanin dominant?
No.
Okay, well then how about this? I respect what you think.
And what definition? Where is that definition
I
at?
respect what you think. My brain
I
hurt.
know it. I know it.
I respect what you think. Okay. You
Where is
respect what I
that?
think?
Where is melanin dominant a definition for black?
I didn't say that it was.
I'm asking.
I don't know what it. I don't know.
It's not.
Okay. All I did was ask you a question. I said, does black mean melanin dominant?
Never.
Okay. Well, then I respect what you think.
The whole world has melanin. So if you want to
Okay.
specify you melanin, then you get no. If you want to
I
specify
understand that.
neuromelanin,
You know, I teach that, right?
if you want to specify with neuromelanin, we know all people have neuromelanin.
I teach that too.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
this
not one of
may
those
this may be the reason why you ain't made the backdrop or made no video.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, but it
I
don't,
mean, do your
because
best though.
you still be rocking with Dwight.
Listen, if you wanna go with Malachi York and talk to him, because again, he come out, you can talk to him like how I'm talking to you.
I'm not finna wait 165 years, bro.
Well, how do you know he's gonna be in there that long?
Come on, man.
Now I ask you a real question. Why you laughing?
I'm gonna tell you why. People like you is why I know. And just imagine all these credulous people follow you, like what you said earlier. You and Malachi did the same thing. Delbert Blair did the same thing. Said, "Hey, go look into this." You know damn well these people ain't gonna look.
I'm one of the students of Dr. Malachi York. I looked. Eat your own tail. I can't vouch for what everybody.
Hold on. Guess what? You're the only one.
Even if I am, that means I'm the only one that know how to listen.
You're the only Nuwapian left, bro. You're the only Nuwapian left.
Then guess what? Guess what I can do? I can encourage other people. Don't be like the people that didn't make it there. Simple.
Bro,
why are you gonna marry him based off of other people's decisions? He never, even when it came to extraterrestrials, he said, "Don't believe me about extraterrestrials, and don't believe anybody talking about flying saucers or anything until you have the experience. If you don't have the experience, you don't know what you're talking about." So anybody going around talking about some Anunnaki, Baba says extraterrestrials, Baba says Neteru, they're not listening.
And they lying.
We don't know whether or not they lie.
I know they lie. I do. You don't. I do. I know for sure they lie. I know it.
That means that you've explored every part of this universe.
No, that means that I know where the Sumerian, the Anunnaki come from. I know where
he didn't just talk about Anunnaki though.
I just talked about him.
He didn't just talk about Anunnaki. He went into
the tarot.
He went into all kind of things. So
he can't talk about no planet risk. He can't talk about none of this stuff. You gotta be able to prove it.
What do you mean planet risk?
You can't prove. You can't. If you can't prove something, if you can't like show it, like give us a metric. Give us a metric with our senses.
Prove that I'm black.
I'm looking at you.
No, prove that
I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at your color.
So if I look at you,
at a black man.
That's like saying, "Yo, prove I'm a bitch," and I say,
"Hey." That's like saying no. That's like a Chinese man saying, "Prove I'm Asian." That's like a white person. We the only ones who were. If you ask that question, it sounds like you really got an aha moment. We're the only ones you could do this with.
Because you can't look at when you say Chinese.
You can't look at a Mexican and say, "Hey, prove I'm Mexican." You can't look at it. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at it.
Doesn't Chinese mean you're from China?
I said, yeah. I said you can look at a Chinese man and tell him.
I'm asking, doesn't Chinese mean you're from China?
Chinese means you have ancestors from China. Yes.
No. Okay, so it don't mean you're from China.
You could be Chinese and have your ancestors be from China. Just like we're African American.
So then I could be just as much Chinese as Elon Musk could be African.
Yeah.
So why do you think a person's
it's a nationality? Face, it's not a race. You know that.
Why do you think a person's face when you say Chinese?
Why do I think of a face?
That's a landmass, China.
Yeah, I said it's a nationality.
Okay, and what's the genetic makeup of that nationality?
I think majority of them are the Han.
Okay, can I stop you right there?
Mm-hmm.
The majority. What about all of them? Everybody who's born in China, what's their genetic makeup?
Mixtures too. They don't have mixtures too.
Okay. Okay. I think we understand one another.
I just feel like you want to tell the chat you're not black.
It doesn't matter if I tell the chat.
Nigga not black.
Either way, if I say I'm not black, if I say I'm black, either way, are you going to know whether or not my ancestry that I'm speaking about is valid?
I mean, if you say that they black, then yeah. But if you try to,
then that means you want to accept it because it confirms your bias.
I don't have no bias. My bias is the truth.
Your bias is based off of what you're
to
referring to as empirical data. That's only based on other people's studies, not yours.
yeah.
Did you go around and
If
test?
I study
Did you go around and genetically
if
test?
I study it, that's my study.
Did you go around and test everybody's genes and see whether or not they were related to this group of people coming from sub-Saharan Africa?
Everybody ain't even got their genes tested.
Did you do it?
Everybody ain't even tested their genes. So
Did
how
you
can
do
it
it?
be done? I love your points. I love your points because they show that you really don't have a any vapid argument. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of like trying to having a
After you done
epistemological
talking about me,
conversation
are you
with
going to
me.
answer my question? Because I
You
asked,
having
did you do it?
a philosophical conversation with me
Have
about
you
like how
done
we
it?
retain
Have you done
information.
it?
Do you know that?
Everybody wants to say I'm not making arguments. That's your problem. Y'all still want to argue things that
I'm
you don't
not
know.
arguing.
Then
I'm
why
just
you
letting
talking
you
about
know what you're
arguments?
doing. I'm letting you know what you're doing. You're trying to make the conversation a philosophical question about like how we retain
That's
information.
philosophical. Genetics,
Of course.
genealogy
This
is
is from the
philosophy.
dude. This is from the dude who reads Malachi Z. York
I
information.
read a lot of. I read Amos
But this is
Wilson.
who the dudes
So I need to go
who
to my
sit up as his
library.
master teacher.
I read a
You
lot
know,
of
but
books.
want to challenge science. Want to challenge the people who study science.
Who? I didn't challenge. What did I challenge from science?
That's what you asking. You say, who did you study? You just studied the people that study. We know this. You just studied somebody who freestyle.
That's not the only
It
person I
makes
studied.
more sense to study the actual scientists
I did
who are
study the
observing
actual
and who are doing the
scientists,
tangible studies, opposed to somebody who's
and I
just,
didn't accept it. That's my
chilling
thing. Are
with
you
the
upset with me because I don't accept it?
separating the families. You know what
All
I'm
right. How
saying?
about this? Let me up. I respect what you say. Do you respect what I say?
I ain't hear what you're saying.
I respect what you say. Do you respect what I say?
In general,
It don't matter if whatever I say.
no. I respect truth, brother.
Okay. Well, then what did I tell you that wasn't true?
Oh no, we might have to go. We might have to go play it back. We might have to go play it back. I'm not the type to just try to keep receipts on. I'm in the present conversation. You'll know if you get tagged.
Well, can we
That's
bear
fair.
witness to the fact that you went to my teachings and you weren't able to debunk anything?
I mean, yeah, because of how you posited them, but yeah, you definitely tried to conflate some shit. You
Okay, then I
definitely tried
failed.
to conflate.
Then I failed.
We seen it. Cessus.
Then I failed. If I tried, I ain't do it.
We said that Cessus Seco didn't share any correlations, but your I gave you your escape.
Because it
Was
wasn't
it your
just one side.
methodology for teaching? Your tactic for teaching
Yeah.
is like wordplay. I got
Yeah,
you.
and some more shit. But also, there was two sides. Somebody said, no, that ain't valid. That's legend. Somebody else said that is actually where it comes from. Da da da. So you have to do more research on that. That's fine. Did I say, man, fuck this nigga? I'm getting him off my live right now. He don't want
We
to believe
did.
me.
We pretty much agreed on both of those terms. That's why I say you have to see if like I said, I got too many pseudos on my plate. I appreciate you for taking this. It's like I say, this is probably likely the reason why I haven't got to you.
Because there's nothing to get to. Unless what happens is a lot of people do this. They'll make the video about me, and then they'll not understand what they're saying. They won't even comprehend it from just an understanding or comprehension standpoint. They won't even have that. They'll just say, this nigga said this. They'll have all the context missing, and I show up, and all the stuff that make something that you seem so complex, make it seem so simple. You're like, dad. And then you come back, and you see what I'm saying? So I've seen that happen. I've seen people do that with pops too. Malachi. Yeah. And then we pull up other things, say, no, he said that. He also said this with that. You can't tell me this nigga in there making a jelly sandwich and you don't talk about the peanut butter. He also got peanut butter right there, too. That's peanut butter and jelly. You can't say, this nigga talks about Anunnaki. So does Zachariah. A lot of people talk about Anunnaki. He also said, don't believe me. Go research these stories. And the doctrine that you may not have your hands on that he's saying he's updated in, he also said people are supposed to be moving past all that Anunnaki stuff, all the Adamite stuff. That's not us. That's what he said. So you'll be walking with Dr. Malachi York trying to debunk him to the end of the world because he ain't never one time stuck with one doctrine. And every time I
Yeah,
saw
I
it,
mean, and my thing is just like, why not admit that it's all fallacies? Why not just,
he did.
I mean, then why
He
dress up?
said it.
Why
Listen,
dress up?
he said, y'all want me to teach you the truth about a lie.
Yeah,
He
just
been
why not
said
teach
that.
the lie? Why not teach the lie? What's the origins?
What?
What's the origins of Judaism? Like, just like, why just teach the shit, man? Stop bullshitting. You got
He
these
did
people
that.
catching up, claiming shit. Talking about, he said, he also said, you got 3 ways you can go. You can be an Indian, you could be a Moor, you could be a Negro. No, you only got one way you can go.
That was
You
in
a
that
nigga.
school. That was in that school. Because if you would have heard him 30 years prior, he would have said, Ansari law for life. Ansari.
Yeah,
Help us
I
with love.
understand. Secret. He's doing the same thing the Greeks did. They
So then
syncretized all the religion. He's doing the
our
same
school
thing Timothy.
teachers,
He's doing the same thing Timothy did.
he
Synchronize
doing the
all
same
these.
thing our school teachers did. Our
Synchronize
school
all
teachers
these.
lied to us then. Because when we was in first grade, we learned certain things from the first degree. When we went to third grade, we learned certain things from third grade. When we went to sixth grade, we learned about puberty and stuff. We didn't know about nothing like that in
Yeah,
pre-K.
you're conflating. That's not the same at all.
How's it? He went through different schools. Only one who
Hebrew,
don't know. Only ones who
he's in
don't
like
know that is y'all. Listen,
Christianity is
I'm
first
literally
grade.
saying I grew up
Islam
in
is
it,
second
and we were
grade.
taught. I'm literally saying I grew up in it, and we were taught not to believe these things, but to know about different people's religions from different walks of life and cultures and ethnicities and all of that, so that we could better relate to people as we set out to make this world a better place.
And
Anybody that's
they
not
didn't
doing
do
that,
that.
they're not doing what we were taught. One
And,
more
and they
time.
didn't do that. They didn't do that. He
Then
went
they're not
into
doing
it.
what we were taught.
He practiced
Simple.
that. He
But you
practiced
can't
it.
put that on Malachi
He
if they didn't
practiced
do
it.
what we were taught.
He practiced it.
He practiced what?
He practiced it. He practiced these things when he went into the school. How you saying
Yeah.
he went
That was the
into them?
best way for us, man.
No, it's not. Maybe
Listen, I'm taking my time to explain it. Now
maybe
ask me,
then.
listen, if it's not, all I'm asking you to do right now, debunk me right now. Ask me what's my religion.
Nah, I would say since he taught you that things, what is the origins of religion?
What do you mean what's the origins of religion altogether?
Yeah, altogether. I mean, it's really only one. It's really just the
I don't listen.
Abrahamic.
Okay, all right, you ready for my answer? Not a new Wapian answer,
I'm ready
not a
for the
nobody
answer.
Korean. Here's
Your
my
answer.
answer. I can't give
Your
you
answer
the
sounds
answer.
subjective. I need
How
the
am I gonna give
truth.
you the answer if a million people got answers for that?
It's only one answer, obviously, right? The
No,
shit
it's not
actually
that
is
obvious. Because if
religion
it
is
was
here.
obvious,
Religion
then
is here. It came to be a specific way, a very nuanced way.
all
If you
right,
don't
boom.
know,
Okay.
then say you don't know and tell me
All
you
right, you
don't
ready for
know.
my answer?
Your answer.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, then he ain't teach y'all nothing.
Okay,
Cause I can
then
run
you
that
just
shit.
did a
I can run
logical
that shit.
fallacy.
You could put a timer on me. I can run
He
that shit for
listen,
the
he taught a
total.
lot of things. Why would you say that? You just lied.
He ain't
You
teach
just
y'all that. He
lied.
ain't teach you the
You said he
origins of
didn't teach
religion.
anything.
He
You
didn't teach
just
you the
lied.
origins of the Abrahamic religion.
You just lied.
He didn't teach you the origins of the Abrahamic religion.
You just lied. You said he
I
didn't
know
teach
you
us
don't want to talk
anything.
about it.
You
How
just
you don't
lied.
speak about the origins of the Abrahamic
You
religion?
just lied. You said he didn't teach
Did he
us
teach you?
anything.
Did he? Yeah, I mean, he didn't teach y'all shit if he didn't teach y'all about that. Because you up here still talking
Because
about
that's the
God,
most
talking about
important thing, right?
spirituality,
To
talking
learn
about the
about
divine.
he did teach
All these
that.
come from
He
religion.
did teach that. Again, just because he taught a thing doesn't mean I know it.
I know that's right.
He taught us that a lot of these religions come from ancient Egyptian stories, Sumerian stories. A lot of these stories that people get come from certain tablets and cultural tradition and oral tradition, written tradition that people had thousands of years beforehand. He taught us about the Hindus and how they were here when they said 15,000 years before any of these Jesus
What
stories
did he teach
popped up.
about West Africa?
Yeah, he taught about West Africa. He did a
What?
transatlantic slave trade. All that. I'll pull it up.
I want to hear what he said about West Africa.
Why didn't you go and look and see
Why
that?
we always
Why are
dressing
you
up
asking me
as
that? Why didn't if you
Egyptians?
studying Dr. Malachi, why didn't you go look and see whether he taught that?
I don't look. I don't study pseudos, bro.
Then
I
how
don't
do you
study
debate? How do
pseudo
you debunk them?
information
How do you debunk them if you don't study what they teach?
because I know it's no big head Yakub under the ground
He
in
never
Arab
said it was a
Arabia.
big head
I
Yakub.
know
He
none of
said
this
that
shit is
story.
real. I know anybody who's entertaining that shit is a waste
He
of
said they
time.
made it up. He said they made it up. That came from the NOI.
Then why write a book about it?
To
And
explain it more
and
than
in the
what
book,
they
and in the
explained.
book, and in the book,
Literally, he
and in the
said,
book, and in the book, you're not saying they made it up. You grifting. You making millions of dollars selling these
okay.
books.
And when you walk past the Masonic Lodge, you're not seeing, hey, what you see with this emblem
Bro,
means this, that, and the third. Y'all
anytime a
are
black
coming from
person
the
is a Mason,
outside trying to tell us what this is. This is a family thing for one. Give me 10 seconds. This was a family thing. We made our way through religions and different schools. That's why I'm able to talk with the Muslim brothers, all of that. I can love them from where they coming from. Christian brothers, even spiritual people, I can love them from where they coming from. He taught us these things and gave us these sciences to be able to use them in real time. Whenever we came and sat with some people over here, if the Asian people say, or these people over here say you come, or the spiritual people, rosters say, when you come in my house, take your shoes off. Then we go in their house and we take our shoes off. If we break bread with the Hebrew Israelites, we break bread with the Hebrew Israelites. When they observe it, that's to be as peaceful as we can in these people communities while we getting things done. Now, let me land with this. Anything you say, that's fine. I'm just telling you, you're telling me, the one who grew up in it, that we believed in Yakub. No, the fuck we didn't.
I didn't say that.
Okay, well then if you didn't say that, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I didn't say you
No, we didn't
believed in
believe in
it.
Yakub. Dr. Malachi York didn't just write books. He taught us what the books were about. Dr. Malachi York also said some information that they were researching. They're going to make movies about it, all kind of stuff, and watch for that to come, and da-da-da, and they did. They made comparisons to certain teachings. They got Gaia Channel, all of that. They put it out there now. We had
Oh,
the books that went out. We had the teachings that were recorded. And then we had what's referred to the most important thing of Nuwapu, our way of life coming up, was word of mouth. What the elders taught us when the cameras were off. How to live, how to walk, how to talk, deal with the women. Don't call them bitches. Don't do none of that. They push out life. You treat them a certain way. How to meet people and have decorum when you're speaking to them, no matter what their pretense is, whatever they believe. Respect what they say. Have an open, listen with an open heart. Even if they're speaking against you, listen with an open heart. Let them say this. And when they debunk or not debunk, they debate or debunk or try to tear down or degrade or defame us, or yeah, you listen, you can deal with them gracefully. You don't gotta attack them or attack their leaders and none. You just deal with them gracefully. Say, okay, I see where you coming from. I understand where you. Let me help you understand. If you can't understand it, then what we were taught is if they don't accept it, which they don't have to, just let them go. So
yeah.
no, I didn't grow up believing in Yakub. I watch people believe in it. I see people making YouTube videos on it now using the image that they got from the Holy Tablets, the big head scientists. But we know what these stories mean. And even when you say Planet Risk, Risk was not just some planet name that he made up. Risk was a word that was already used, Rezek, that meant to provide, the providers. So when you say Riskian, you're saying providers. We knew this. We knew this. And we watched, because I hit the streets at 5, 6, 7 years old. Literally, at 7 years old, I was out and debating the elders in the building. We called it the mid, the temple, or the pyramid. Certain builders in Decatur. I either debate or talk to or learn from the elders in person up to like 12, 13, 14 years old when I started doing my own thing, meaning taking it away from just being in the community, going out into the streets in high school, all of that, and seeing further how many people I could reach to bring them to more of the truth. But one of the main things he was teaching us was, no, it ain't just this Yakub story over here or these extraterrestrial stories over here. Listen, when they bring this story up, remind them that Fard Muhammad came with this story. Remember that. So you telling me, listen, risking someone who provides. So they can
Yeah.
go out and they can say, oh, he believes he's from planet Risk. He
It's
believes he's from
Arabic, right?
Huh? Go ahead.
It's Arabic.
Huh? Yeah.
Arabic.
Arabia, Rezek. RZQ. Rezek. Risk.
Exactly. Arabic. So since I'm black, and so I don't know, you're not. I don't know what you are, but I'm black. I know a lot of people are black that listen to this information. I know a lot of people that listen to him is black. We not from Arabia. That's a whole different continent.
He's
So
yeah,
my thing is, like I said, the supernatural, the spirit, the soul, the magic, the existential shit that y'all be trying to inquire about and try to really, put y'all life to. Y'all gonna drive yourself to spiritual psychosis, and then you're
but
gonna get stuck,
we don't do that.
and then you're gonna
Listen,
wonder. I'm not talking to you
you know what?
necessarily.
Okay, so then you're not okay. You're talking to me, not the Nuwapu.
Okay, well, you do it's not necessarily you. It's for the ones, the credulous ones that follow this stuff.
Okay, so then you talk to them people when you get time, but not right now.
Oh well,
Right now, you're talking
okay.
to me.
You specifically.
Yeah,
Magic
I
is
teach you
fake.
about the
Magic is fake.
electromagnetic field.
Magic is not real. Um, the soul is all these things supernatural. These are not tangible things. These are not things that exist in reality. Reality, once again, measured by the senses. All these grifters, people that come off as content creator influencers that try to sell you on these things are just here to take your money because you're credulous. You're looking for a leader, and you get that way because of how you was raised up, going to these schools, sitting down in front of people, thinking that's how you learn.
Okay. And I was raised by my mother, my Umi, meaning my mom or my mother, my Uba, Abu, my father or stepfather, the elders in the community, Dr. Melikazi York, the Nuwapians, the land we had. I was raised and being taught before they came in and destroyed it to not do that. So when you see me out here calling these people out, let me just make sure we're clear. I wasn't even offended when you put my face on the thing. I wasn't even offended when you put Malachi's face on the thing. We don't worship Malachi to sit up under him and say, you know, if he don't eat, then we don't eat. Or if he can't put nothing out on the table, then we don't know nothing. That's not, he didn't raise that. We weren't raised that way. I didn't even get offended. The only thing I was offended about, and I hope you can understand that, was that I didn't have a video on me. That was the only thing that was offensive. That you got, you gonna
you
group
got a
me in
video.
with these
You
people,
got a
put me on
video.
this.
I ain't transferred it. You got a video now that I think about. It may be one of your first videos because I go to the beginning. Using the classroom, so maybe that one of the very first ones you
Well, then
did.
maybe it would have been less offensive if that one was actually posted, because you was under my comments saying
It's
this, that, and the third. I said, you see how I responded? I just say, prove it. He said, I don't know what proof is. I said, okay, well, my thing is I think that the big thing that happened in a good way was that the live had to end because my phone died. When we first came on, it was too chaotic. We came back on, we was able to get some type of decorum established to move forward. All I'm saying to you is, I don't take offense to you saying something is pseudo. I don't take offense to you trying to debunk me or Dr. York. And there's no but coming. I just don't take offense to that type of stuff. I grew up in this. I know what's going on. All I'm saying is, if you find something and it's not right what I'm saying, or it doesn't connect, or you don't understand it, you can either ask questions, you can debunk it, or you can do what we did growing up in the temples. We edified each other, right? I remember being on one time on Clubhouse, and I was talking to some brothers, the Hebrew brothers, and we going back and forth, and we love sparring with the Hebrew Israelites. I love my Hebrew Israelite brothers. I hope they know that, because they fun to spar with, and they really care about what they believe in. At least a lot of my experience they do, and they have this energy about they're ready to die for it. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's subjective, but the main thing is I was going back and forth with them Hebrew Israelites, sparring with them on my Clubhouse days. I did a little debate every now and again, but I didn't really. And they were talking about the word, what do you call it? Ark of the Covenant, or Ark. So when we got to the word Ark, I pulled up the wrong word for Ark. I was talking about the word for Ark as in a ship, as opposed to the Ark that was a device that they refer to as Ark of the Covenant. So one of the brothers, they let me go in, and I went in good. And they were like, well, first of all, the word you use is wrong. And I didn't say, nigga, fuck that. You deflecting, da-da-da. While he's talking, I'm muted. And I went to go see it, and I had to come on mic after he was done. I said, well, I said, you're right. I used the wrong word. Everybody, we laughed about it. That's where I come from. What's this? I don't know. I come from, if you got something.
That's what y'all do. See, I don't play with pseudos. I don't play with Hebrew Israelites. I don't play with Moors. I don't play with pretendians. I don't play with Hotep. I debunk them. They don't know what they're doing. See, I have a little foresight and I can see what they're doing.
Okay, after you debunk them, what happens?
When I debunk them, it's really more. I gauge them. I gauge them if they're gonna be able to, if I'm gonna be able to speak to their better senses. If they're totally indoctrinated, then I just use them to teach the chat, right? So anything that they would say, I would just edify them on their misunderstanding or misinterpretation.
So you
I'm
don't.
not saying.
Okay. All right, you can debunk them, right? Are you still able to sit down and break bread with them?
I would.
Because that's their belief. That don't make them a bad person. You
Yeah,
have
no,
beliefs regardless of what you
absolutely,
think.
absolutely not. Break bread.
Meaning, can you
I
stand
couldn't do
around
business.
and
I
talk
couldn't do
to them?
business with them. I'll say this. I couldn't do business with them. I could, you know what I'm saying? I could hang out with them, but I couldn't necessarily do business with them or nothing like that. I couldn't do anything that
That's
requires,
prejudice.
yeah, I couldn't do anything that requires any deep thinking. And like I say, your soul,
You don't think that's
uh,
prejudice?
yeah, prejudice.
Okay.
As
Okay.
far as I'm biased today, yeah, I definitely
Okay.
would not, yeah, do no business with nobody like that. But that's what I'm saying. You
Okay.
know, we could ultimately a person's belief system is their moral compass. You know, how many times I remember it was a post. I ain't gonna say the name. But it was a post, but they just kept on saying that they would off their son if God told them to. And it's just they got a reel where all of these Hebrews were like just quoting this shit, saying this shit back to back to back to back to back. If God told you to, you off your son. I'm like, man, say these people different, bro. So now
Well,
I don't
God ain't
have
gonna
fun.
tell them off, son.
I don't really need to chuckle with them. Yeah, they don't give me no time. They don't give me no airplay because I'm taking it from the root. And like I
All right,
said,
well,
that's all I came
I
up here
respect your
to say.
standpoint. It would be mine. I respect your standpoint. My standpoint would be I can spar with my brothers anytime. Those are still my brothers because they can go from being Hebrew Israelite to not being Hebrew Israelite. I don't care as long as they ain't out here robbing people, killing people, putting people to death or shame, all that stuff. I mean, they still do that. They still shame niggas. But still, if they're not out here being terrorists in the community and they cleaning brothers up, brothers are stopping pornography. Brothers is I know a few brothers who became Hebrew Israelites used to be thugs, gangsters, and cleaning it up. That's a step. That's a step that says if I run into you, you're not going to mean me any harm. And
So like
then if we got
an ethnic Jew, you'll treat them the same way, right?
a ethnic, what's an ethnic Jew?
Like a real Jew.
What is a real? Okay, you mean a descendant of?
What is a real Jew? Somebody
These are real
who
questions,
has
by the way.
ancestors that are actually from the region of Israel, Judea.
Not descendants of Jacob.
No, that's a fictional story. I'm not conflating with theology.
Do they believe? Do they believe it's a fictional story?
The ethnic ones.
Yeah, do ethnic Jews believe
Well,
that's a fictional story?
that's a dichotomy. You said they believe, right? Anything you got to believe in is cap because you
I'm
can't be an
asking
earthly to
not
know it.
whether or not it's true. I'm asking, do the ethnic Jews also agree that the name of their tribe comes from a fictional story?
Uh, yeah, I was explaining it, right? I said it's a dichotomy. You're saying, belief. They don't know. They believe it, yes.
They believe what?
That all that shit is real.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. So then, when you say it's fictional, respectfully to the people that have that belief system, I'm not going to just say it's fictional, especially if they're not saying that and they're
What about
calling
the truth,
themselves,
though?
huh?
What about respecting the truth?
Wait, when you say respecting the truth, I don't know whether or not somebody named Jacob existed to give children that became Judah to become the tribe called Yiddish or
Do you
Jewish.
know? Do you know that there is?
No. So then
That's
there's
how
no
you know.
reason for
That's
me.
how you know that there's not. So it's like the
What?
absence of evidence type shit.
That's another logical fallacy, nigga.
It's like the absence of evidence is like makes it. That's not mean like no. The story. It's like So you don't know that Santa Claus is not real, right?
No, I don't.
There you go. Yeah, the type of shit I'm dealing with. Got you. All right. Well, I think I staked my point right here.
Okay.
All this shit fictional. Ain't no supernatural, no soul, no spirit. All that talking about that shit just make you feel good about dying one day.
To answer your question, not only would I treat them with the same love and respect, I also don't look at ethnic Jew and think that I'm seeing a face or a person because I walk right past someone who actually is an ethnic Jew that has that same ancestry just because I don't see what I see on my fucking poster when I'm walking past or on my TV channel. So anybody that comes into my presence, so long as they don't present themselves as an enemy or an op to the point of me having to neutralize them, whether with my absence or with my asserted presence, I deal with them with respect. And there are times, depending on people's approach, where I'll take them through that ringer. And then after I take them through the ringer and they down on the ground, I'll pick them up, dust them off, say, well, listen,
Uh,
I respect your belief. I love you. I don't believe what you believe. Simple. Now, let's set the table so we can bring the people in so they can have food. And we're going to go out here, we're going to throw the football. And we're going to go out here, we're going to clean up Miss Mary yard. This is real life. We're going to send the brothers out to make sure that the sisters get their groceries all in the community. We can go door to door. We do stuff like that. And we don't say, hey, before we go get your groceries, or hey, before we make sure you got the money that you need for your light bill, are you Jewish or are you Hebrew? We don't do none of that. So
so
I respect your standpoint. You state your point. Here's my point. I respect it. I don't have any opposition with you. If you're asking questions and you're targeting and you're debating, I don't see no issue with that. And that's what it is. Simple.
would you address a born male as a she?
Huh?
Yeah, it's some dudes out here. They be trying to like call themselves women, and then
Mm-hmm.
used to be some other dudes that they was like, yeah, they'll say that's a she.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like what. That's kind of how I interpreted that. Like, you know, I'm respecting their
So you
belief.
asking me a question?
Yeah, that was a
What's
question.
your
That was
question?
would you call a born male a she if that's what they believed in? Would you
No, not
respect
because.
their wishes?
Okay, you asked me 2 questions. Which one am I answering? Both of them?
You can answer about. You can answer them in that order.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it because it's what they believe in. However, if I was around some brothers who are dealing with whatever they're dealing with internally, and they believe that they're women or whatever, and it was a respectful thing to do in that environment for work to get done, yeah, I'd be like, yo, yeah, she said this. Yo, make sure y'all give her what she asked for. Da da da. Yeah, I would do that. That's me personally. Yeah.
Yeah.
That don't mean that I walk off and say that was a woman. It don't matter though. I got trans people that follow me. I'm sure they didn't expect me to follow them back. I don't have that type of insecurity. I'm not dealing. I'm not saying that your thing is an insecurity thing. I don't
Yeah,
have
my
that.
thing is more so like a truth thing. You know, like I'm not adhering to your beliefs, bro. I'm
But you
not
call me
adhering to
black.
people. Yeah, you are. You know what I'm
See?
saying? I'm not adhering to anything else you're gonna call. You can't call yourself nothing else. Right. You didn't want to do it. You didn't want to say you're not black.
So why would you categorize me as black and you don't know whether
You
or not
don't
I
you
am?
don't want you're not gonna tell me you're not black.
I'm not black.
Well, I'm just glad I got that out of you.
And now
That's
what
really
happens after you got it out?
that was my point.
Okay,
That was
after it's
my
out,
point.
what
Did that
happens
feel
after?
good? I bet that felt good to you.
Huh?
Bet that felt good to you. Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
don't know
proud. I'm
about that.
proud to be
No,
black. I have no qualms about being black. You are still black. I'm pretty sure your documentation
okay.
has you as black.
Okay, you got to answer your question, all right? Yeah, some niggas was like, yo, nigga, we some women. And they at my establishment
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
serving them or we got sisters serving them or the brothers serving them. Yo, treat them with respect. I don't care what they look like, what they got on, what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Niggas might leave a motherfucking $500,000 tip just because of it, because they done made a fucking $1 billion together. I don't care. My
I
main
heard
thing
that.
is to deal with people just based off they come. Now, if the nigga come talking shit, I don't give a damn if it's Quisha or Kevin or whatever you want to call himself. He finna get his issue. You know what I'm saying? But he
Yeah.
ain't come he ain't come bullshitting me while I'm going to bullshit him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. To
Or
me,
her.
to me, to me, I mean, I get you. I definitely get you. Because like that's how this world is. Majority of the world, that's what they doing. Um,
A lot of these people,
I just have a different perspective on
yeah,
that.
most people don't do it from a respect standpoint. They do it from they're intimidated and don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. That's not pure intentions. I don't give a damn what nobody think. I think that's obvious. If it's not, I don't care. So I'm saying my intention is to just respect people and get things done and not be anybody's problem other than the ones who might be in the way of what we're getting done. If
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
them,
that's kind of I feel the same, and I think that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at that foresight where I feel like this is a problem. This inevitably will be a problem. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm in America, right? The
mm-hmm.
Constitution, has us respect people belief. It's a part of the Constitution,
Yep.
where they don't big up any belief and nor they don't push anyone, but they don't remove anybody's belief. But we see where that gets us. This country, whether we want to recognize it or not, is supposed to be built off of Christianity, but this is the fruit of it.
They
We
said
can
freedom
say
of
we can
religion.
say we can say, well, the Bible says this and Christians do
The
that, but
Constitution said freedom of religion, all of that, what they believe in, freedom of press,
mhm.
freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Are you anti-constitutional? I'm just fucking with
I definitely won't say that out loud. But we are seeing the
you. We got
fruits
them.
of it. But we are seeing the fruits of it. You know what I'm saying with this country, and that's subjective too. That's everybody's opinion on that. I'm just like
Yeah, the country doesn't exist without moving beings. So you have the landmass, but this business that's happening on top of it only exists. How you doing there? All right. Huh? We thought you was talking about right here. I still thank you for that. Okay, I thank you, man. You have a good day now. I got you. Thank you. That's what
so
I live
like
for. That's what I live for. I live for that.
so like
And that's not
small.
scripted. Hold on. That's reality. So go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
So the small mustache man, he had a belief system, right? He believed that he was some people that he wasn't. Colonialism, the Europeans who trafficked our ancestors. That's just for the hit dogs that got hollering. Not everybody's not our right. They believed that they had a white man's burden. Like this is what beliefs do when they're not based in truth, which they aren't because beliefs are subjective. It means to trust to accept this truth. This is what we gonna get. We got to believe in as society. No society, no culture, no ethnic group. I think the Chinese may be the closest to it. No ethnic group is just full blown scientifically literate and pragmatic off of that.
You sound like somebody I know.
Let me holler at them.
Dr. Melikazi York.
Nah, man, stop the fuck! I almost hung up on you, bro. You can't say that
Hung
to
up.
me.
Hang up.
Don't
You
say
sound
that
like
to me,
you sound
bro.
like Pops. I mean, I know it's hard to understand, but that's why we able to have this conversation this long. You know that, right? Because of him.
You say again?
He trained and taught us how to deal with certain situations. So,
Yeah, I love the poise. I love the poise. I love that part.
yeah, that came from the Wapu.
Yeah, I seen his son real good at it, but that don't make the information correct.
Yeah, we're not trying to be correct.
Oh yeah. I know. I am. I'm trying to correct
We're
the
not trying to be
misinformation.
correct. We're getting
It's
things
gonna be
done.
a time like how Malachi came in the game, and it was like, yo, this is it. Like all the other shit was like, not saying it was like trash, but it was just like built up to this. Now this is the guy. He got all this. He got all the books. He got all the languages, all the information.
Yeah.
It's too much for you, right?
Nope.
It's time to evolve.
It wasn't too much. How's it? Okay,
No,
never
I'm
mind.
not
That's
saying I'm
subjective.
not saying it too much. I'm saying it too much as far as I don't think people really processed everything that he put out.
You can't.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Because it wasn't for everybody. Listen, some people don't want to be Muslims. There are Ansars today. They come to our family day events. You know, we still gather. Sometimes we do family day. Sometimes we do the honoring of the birthday, Dr. Melikazi York's birthday. Some people celebrate his birthday, even though that's been put to rest recently, other than they've been doing the drumming ceremony. They say the Ansars pull up. I've seen this myself. They don't really be rocking with the Nuwapian thing, a lot of them, because that's a newer school. And then you have some Nubian Islamic Hebrews, they don't rock with the Ansari school. And then when Dr. Melikazi York went from the Jalabir to putting on the, what do you call it, the cowboy suits, cowboy hats, some people said, I'm not with this. When he was like, yo, we finna do this, we finna go over here, get some land, da-da-da-da. Some people said, I'm staying over here on Jezza Abba. I'm staying here in Bushwick Avenue. I'm not going over there. So not everybody was with the Sons of Green Light doctrine or the Hebrew Israelite doctrine, as the Hebrew Israelite, Rabboni Yeshua or Imam Isa. Not everybody was with these different schools. The ones who stayed close to it was like, yo, all right, we finna learn this. Yo, what we learning now? We finna learn this. And the best teachers, me growing up, the most exciting teachers, excitement is important, especially when it comes to neuroplasticity. The most exciting teachers came dressed up as the Native American, not just saying, okay, turn your book to this, that, and the third. The most exciting teacher said, okay, we're going to eat this food from France. From France. We're going to eat this, what do you call it, crab boule? I don't know. I think it was crab boule with some other shit. It had some waffle looking shit. I don't remember what it was. But it was cream shit. Whatever they said. We're going to eat this from France. We ain't just going to learn about France or learn about the French. We're going to eat their food they ate. We're going to do this for a few days, da-da-da-da. That was engaging. And after we eat our stuff, we was excited about turning to the book and do this, that, and the third. And so I bear witness to that, that the main thing was y'all looking to say, why they dress like Moors now? Or why they dress like Native Americans now? Or why they dress like Muslims now? Why they dress like, because Faise One. That's why. Because now I can, when people say, are you Muslim? I say, I can be. I can put on you go up and down my page, you'll see me wearing different attire. You go up and down my YouTube, you'll see me in different attire. I got a song called F Black History, dedicated to the Moors and the indigenous people. I got a song called Source, dedicated to the Muslims. I got a song called Dungeon Cry, dedicated to the Christians. Don't tell me what he taught us didn't work. It worked. Because now we can get everybody here. How many people are here? If you don't mind, those of y'all who are in here, can you just comment your religion? Can you just comment your orientation? And I want to see if we have people in here who have either the Christian orientation, Muslim orientation, Hindu orientation, spiritual orientation, whatever your orientation is. It's not a trap. I just want to see how many people we got here. And if we can see that we have multiple people coming from different groups to be able to sit here and listen to both of us talk and have a discourse or an on-course, as I like to call it, for this long, then there's nothing wrong with Nuwapu. The outside looking in might be like, yo, I have scrutiny about. That's what he wanted you to do. He wouldn't be upset. You go listen to some of the debates, the dinosaurs, evolution, all that. You go listen to some of those. He didn't shut down people. He one of the first ones, if not the first one, who stood in front of the church and said after he was done with the sermon, now ask me anything. The pastor don't do that. After he done with the sermon, the pastor say pass around the plate and dip. He said ask me anything. He was in the masjid and the mosque, and after he was done reading a Quran, and they did the salat, the prostration, the sajud, he said ask me anything. Bring me your questions. What you got? What you want to know? Well, he didn't just say, they said, yo, teach us about masonry. He said, y'all want to learn about masonry? Yeah, we really want to learn. How much do y'all want to learn about masonry? They said, yo, we really want to know what's going on in the temples. What'd he do? He establishes the Nuwapian Grand Lodge, teaches them everything from point A to Z. And they walk through it themselves. And the onlooking Masons couldn't say he's giving away the secrets to eavesdroppers. They had to admit that he was teaching it to friends, people who were part of the order. What? He didn't just say, all right, now turn to Malcolm Duncan, book page number 7, go to paragraph 2. No, he said, now you put on your apron or your badge. You walk in and we learned the orders. I was too young to walk through some of those orders, the Nuwapian Grand Lodge and all of that. I had to become a Mason later after they locked him up. But the main thing is I was able to see all of this. So we could talk to anybody, walk with anybody. That's what it is. And if they're not living like that, it don't matter. That's not what he taught. That's not how we were taught. You see what I'm saying? So if I have to be one of, I don't think I'm the only one, because I'm sure there's other people, they might have had the platform. If I'm one of the ones who can be a presenter of what Nuwapu is, and we could talk how we just talk, and not one time did you hear me say, yeah, man, the Anunnaki are us. We're Anunnaki guys. We're carbon people. We're da-da-da-da. We're non-ether this, da-da-da. You ain't hear me say none of that. You understand? Because our information is living, it's alive, it's aware of the time we're in. We ain't gonna just talk from his book from 1970 or 1980. We're aware. Our language is living. It ain't even the same language that it was 20, 30 years ago. We're alive. And Dr. Melikazi York is alive. And when we speak, we're not speaking from something from just 100,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago, 1,000 years. We're talking about right now. Now Wapian. We're talking about right now. And right now, like you ask me anything, and I will answer with Nuwapu. Nuwapu was able to say, I don't know. That ain't no gotcha to us. As a matter of fact, we encourage you to debunk everything we say. I sat there and listened and go, okay, what do you want to do? What, I'm going to go to a random point in your video. Let's do it. I did it with you. And if there's something that I said that ain't no point, I don't feel, I'm not going to be offended by that or upset about it. We're going to deal with it and say, that's right. Okay, you corrected me. Let's move on. He corrected me, y'all. That's not okay. He right. Let's move on from that. Anybody else that didn't want to deal with that or they were afraid of that, they would have been like, nah, nigga, we ain't finna do none of this. No, I don't want to talk to you. Da, 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 da. You'll be off the live like they do me. When people get challenged by me, either I go on their live or whatever, they be ready to dip. They don't stay around. They block me. They don't want to deal with things in scholarship level, any of that. I stood there and did that. This because I'm a student in right knowledge. So regardless of what they did, if we were learning trigonometry and we had to take the trigonometry test, I don't care if it's 33 people in the class and 32 people failed and I did it, my teacher did a good job. Simple like that.
Yeah, you familiar with Dwight York's race? You know what his race is?
Who?
Dwight York, you know his race? Is he black?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he even said that. People don't know. He's either Sudanese, he's Liberian, he's Ghanaian. I don't know. Best person to ask is guess who? Him. He says he has Sudanese ancestry. I don't know. Then he's a walking mystery to me. I don't know.
That would make sense though. If y'all both have Sudanese, but yeah, like that information that I looked up, that 80-20, 25-90, generally, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't Like I said, I study the information of the scientists. You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear
I'm
you.
not a scientist. I'm studying this information. Um, so I don't know where any other information is coming at. It's not coming from science. Etymology of science coming from scienzo meaning to know. Yeah, so I don't know how anything else can be known
It's
outside
all
of
good.
science. Because science tries to disprove, right? To prove,
I
not just
get you.
trying to disprove to debunk. So
I'm not saying scientists are wrong. I'm saying just because them niggas know that don't mean I know that. Does that make sense?
yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's the case with a lot of shit. I mean, it's a lot of not knowing going on when it could be. Uh,
That's fine.
I would love it for us to have some legitimate scholars um, in the conscious community. At least somebody who can parallel or amalgamate
So then form that.
spirituality with
This is what I would
science.
suggest. I suggest, because I'm working on that. I don't disagree with you. Form that. I was just talking to the brothers when they came down to see you. Everybody came from all over. And they came down. We did our thing. We was doing the show, all of that. And I did my teachings, and we went into class. And I said, yo, one of y'all may have to go, okay, I study the Hebrew language. One of y'all may have to go, I study biology. And everybody do this for like 6 months to a year. Everybody study a thing, and we come back. And now when I step out, I'm not just stepping out as a teacher that's phase one-stop shop. I can, but what would be more powerful than that? Somebody that is able to say, nigga, okay, phase, you studied Hebrew for a few years, or you studied this for a year or so, okay, but you was also studying these other things while you were studying that. So you got this, not this necessarily master, jack of all trades, master of none. I'm a master of a lot of things. But what's more important is you got a lot of masters in the things that they master. So then one person can focus on moving this way. Maybe I'm doing the music and gathering people together to do this thing that we're talking about. And then the other people that say this person's on biology. So when they call and they ask them questions, say, yo, what's up with this? Da, 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 da. Yo, let's get our geneticists on the phone.
Right.
This is a question for our geneticists. Not, yo, let me go into the divine insight part of my brain and channel that from the ethers. No, fuck that. So I'm on the same page you on, and I literally just had this conversation with the brothers and sisters, saying this is what we need to move toward. You have to, whatever it is you're interested in, for one, you keep that. But the main thing is everybody needs to grab whatever points, okay, or vertice of or edge of this system called conscious community. And anything that they're teaching, if they talking about, oh yeah, we're conscious beings and we have our soul and da da da, you must not know. I was teaching that on Clubhouse 3, 4, 5 years ago about, what do you mean a soul? What is a soul? You mean the psyche? Are you trying to talk about the psyche? You talking about the epiphenomenon of the brain, neural correlates of consciousness? You talking about our nervous system, our central nervous system, what do you call it, peripheral nervous system? They don't know nothing about that.
Right.
So then they need to. I don't want to. It don't feel good to walk away and say I showed them. It'll feel better that when I leave them, and after I'm done talking to them, they say, man, this man had a point. Let me go look into this and study about my own brain. Most people
Exactly.
go ahead.
No, y'all. I was just co-signing exactly, just like conform or like the proper methodologies to come upon the consensus for. I want to say truth, but whatever it is, we're gonna be riding with, because I know a lot of people, they want to just stay on code. A lot of people just want to be a part of something big. They don't want to be a mover and a shaker. And I get that. Everybody ain't a chief, no pun intended. But no, I absolutely agree with you.
And we don't
Just
need everybody to be. And look, this is the community system aspect. Okay, let's say your thing is, I'm not saying it is your only thing, but let's say your thing is language. You're firm and profound and sound in linguistics. And my thing is archaeology. So people come in, they walk up on us. Shouldn't just be one person talking if they're speaking about the Bible and whether or not people existed in reality called Jesus or Jacob. We should be able to, one at a time, back and forth, right? And we had this, it was called the triad. And the triad, they lethal because they're well studied, and each of them had the things that they're well studied in. And if somebody asked a question, they literally stood on the stage as a pyramid. Somebody was at the mic, somebody was at the one point and another point. And if they ask a question, yo, what's up with this? Da, 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 explain about the such and such of a green light, and they can't answer that, the triad steps back. the person that's at the mic steps back, the one that's on the left moves to the right, and the one that was on the right moves up to the mic. And they kept circling, and they'll do that all night. If they didn't know the answer, they move out the way to let the one who is the scholar in that step up. And that's a community.
That's
But
hard.
so it shouldn't be just everybody's a chief, because you will only be a chief in the thing you chief in. So
Mm-hmm.
you're the chief when they asking me about, well, then can you prove that linguistically? And you step up, I got you. And you say, okay, yeah, according to that, you got Jesus, you got Elias, you got Yeshua, da da da. And see, these are this over there. And they say, well, where was that language? I step up. Well, that language was this, that, of the place, da 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 da. Woo, woo, woo. That's more powerful than they just trying to single phase one out, and they try to shut me down because I'm moving people toward this, right? And you can't shut this down if everybody said, listen, I'm going to be a master in my own right, literally in my own right. And that's what I was taught. Now, I don't know what happened other than, look, Malachi spoke on this. When he was 2004, he was locked up. He did a call, and he was like, yo, the Nuwapians are still under the spell. What was the spell? Spell of ignorance, right? The Nuwapians are still troubled by their own ignorance and their own lusts. They can't get past. They meet together. They're supposed to be meeting on this and doing this for the community. They still looking for tail. They still chasing tail. They still trying to look who they can sleep with. They still this. These are some things that he would break it down. The women dressing all tight. They supposed to be at a gathering for love and ascension. Why the women wearing tight dresses? He talked about that, and we know why the women do that. Why the men trying to look all buff and da da da. We know why the men do that. You see what I'm saying? But he was explaining even then, everybody's supposed to be there to focus on the same reason why he shut down people celebrating the birthday. And they, supposed to be everybody doing a drumming ceremony and the sisters dancing around him. I was just talking to one of the elders a few days ago, which was his birthday. And they were supposed to be doing the ceremony. I said, what's going on with that? Because last year he said, stop it. She said, well, the sisters are still going to come, but they'll be in this building, and the brothers are going to be in the other building, and they're going to be drumming, and then the sisters, they're not going to be dancing all around them, because Baba knows what they call Baba, Malachi. He knows that the sisters only want to go to dance around the brothers and be seen, and the brothers only want to go to be seen by the sisters, and he don't like all that stuff. I literally had my wife standing there to confirm all of this. I said, exactly. Because they try to act like it's about his birthday and honoring the teacher and all this stuff. No, people be there for the flesh. So we can get we can't get stuck on where people went wrong at. We can acknowledge it, but we can't get stuck on it. The only way to clean it up, especially when you're talking about people, moving beings, living organisms that have their own consciousness and their own conscience, and they're able to make certain decisions, and they can move this and move that. We have to make the decision then. So I didn't just stay and say, yo, y'all did this wrong, y'all did this wrong. No, I said, I'm going to see if we can find some more people and we still got issues with those people because we're dealing with people. I can't beat them upside the head and leave them on the floor. Sometimes they'll try to backdoor one another. I got to show them. I say, you don't know where you're going right now because you may not have the wisdom yet. But what y'all are about to do, that's going to be a problem. They don't always listen to me. That's reality. But let's say we got two main pillars. This is reality. Two main pillars. They at war with one another. I can't just say, fuck it, y'all pillars are out of the picture. We got to find a way to work with these pillars. Because if these two pillars fall, then everybody else is with these pillars. It becomes Samson and the Philistines. You see what I'm saying? So we got to find a way. And I'm not talking about just we got to. We're finding a way. And if it took this long for people to be genuine, it just took this long. If it took this long for you to say, yo, I want us to have more scholars in the spiritual community, more conscious people in the spiritual, guess what? I agree with you. And you want to know why we're here? Because I saw you attack me, and I didn't look at your attack as personal, which proves it can be done. I'm not saying necessarily attack me, but people might look at it like that. But I saw
Right.
you
Well, yeah,
challenging.
that's a big part. That's one of the first parts is and like I said, I do favor that about you and really the Nuwabians, and I think I don't want to give no credit to anybody else. I feel like the more be on it too, but like the poise in the conversation, right? Because I'm used to making people crash out. So the emotion
I
control,
understand.
like that's like one of the first barriers with people in general. When we lead them with emotions, we can't be critical thinkers. We're gonna have a bias off the bat. So yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with you.
that's why I think the phone had to die, because it gave us a time to reset, because it was getting chaotic. But this was not just us talking or going back and forth. We got here where you're not the only one. I'm not the only one that should be on this. Everybody should be on this. I think everybody that's on here should take some time to think about something that you're interested in that aligns with what people are talking about in spirituality. If you want to study the soul and consciousness, study neuroscience, right? Study, if you want to learn, oh, I want to know myself. If I ask you about the liver and you don't know its functionalities, you fall off. If I ask you about your heart and the system, you fall off. You want to learn self, or say, I want to know myself, all of that, study biology, study anatomy, human anatomy, study physiology. You understand that? Oh, I want to be a metaphysicist. We don't need any metaphysicists. We need physicists. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, I want to be an astrologist or astrologer. We don't need astrologers. We need astronomers.
Damn, why you cooking right now?
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Right? We don't need astrologers. We need astronomers. We need people that's. I don't want to just look at these cards and be like, this may happen in your life. I want to be able to look up in the stars and say, this may happen tonight. And that's what astronomers are able to do. And they're not doing it off of hunches and divinity. They're doing it off of calculations. And if we're going to speak about ancient Egyptians or any of these people that was claiming to have been this advanced, when you study it further, you'll see, wait a minute, they look like they was using some type of device here. Or what's doubling and halving systems? They wasn't counting off of a wit or a hunch. Them niggas knew how to count fast. And they said, we ain't counting fast enough. And they found out how to count faster. And these people developed a system called the computer off of that.
Wow.
Oh, well, then we need those people. I don't want the people that's going to sit there and tell me everything's going to be all right. I mean, if you're going to cheer everybody on while they're in the lab, then there's a place for you. Other than that, man, we need real people on the grounds doing this stuff. And then when it comes time, you got more people. Don't just got to be all of these, uplifted in the air sciences or capstone sciences. We need foundational sciences too. We need people, architects. Oh, I'm here to build my community. 19 Keys say it's a time of builders. Tell them get out there and build something. Tell them we need land. Tell them get some land. That's the foundation of building anything you say you want to build. What, you going to build it on water? Tell them go get some land. Tell them to build places where these women can go and live, these children can go and live and be protected from what's going on outside. So now he's not just renting buildings to come talk to us. He's on his land under the protection of his security, his permission. I know somebody that did that, but everybody want to act like it didn't happen. I was there. I witnessed it. We had our own police. We had our own currency and everything. Our own language. Even if he made it up, guess whose it was? Ours. And we could call it ours. And when people heard us speaking it, they had to ask us what it meant. You understand that? So more building, architects. We need people doing that. Real masons, not just the allegorical masons. Where the real masons at? The ones who know how to lay brick, actually lay brick. And you can look at it from an operative or speculative level, meaning you could take it allegorically if you want to. You still got to get out there and not just be, it got to be more to you than just a sticker on the back of your truck and a hump 3 times and a sign from a brother. It got to be more to you.
Bro, you spin. I feel like I really could lead you to it. I ain't gonna lie. Only thing I feel like is what's keeping us from that? What's keeping us from uniting and doing that and having these tangibles? This is kind of what we talking about now, like the spiritual stuff and the like the religious stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. I had an ex that passed 2 months ago, and the preacher was saying some stuff made me feel good. She turned to an angel. She looked above me and smiled. All this kind of stuff was feeling good. But I need the tangible stuff because I know that that's one day gonna happen to me. So I need to provide something palpable, something sustainable, something real, material that's gonna live on forever. Since the other is unknown, I want it to happen.
Yeah.
But I want us to unite in reality. I can see this shit. I can feel this shit for
There's
real
nothing
right now.
really stop. The only thing that would stop us, I don't mean to be cliche, it'll be us. And it'll be in the form of our inability to have conversations like these without crashing out, like you said. I'm from the streets. Crashing out means something different where we from.
Right now, I
Right?
know.
You know what I'm saying? So even still, we with all of that, I know brothers who in the streets like that, who because they've been around, they done got their composure together. The ability to have the conversation, even if it's a hard one, get your composure together. Stand there with your brother. I don't agree with you. I respect what you say though. And then how are we gonna build a community and leave out the trans people? Do people think that if we build a Black Wall Street right now, that the LGBT just disappears? Even if it's oh, they're black, but they're this. So what? They're still what you're calling black, and they're a part of that. So
Well, we can't call. I mean, I ain't gonna say we. I'm just, this is me speaking from my perspective. I'm not calling no boy, no girl. Not
I
never doing that.
understand that. Then you might not listen. Then okay, then
And
you have to.
then listen. The same way that it's respect towards them when you do that. That's respect towards me. How the hell you want me to go out of my upbringing, the truth at that, and
I
just
understand
make you
that.
comfortable?
I
But that's what I'm
understand.
saying.
You ain't never seen the movies or the stories, read the stories where you got the elder who they don't want to get a iPhone. They stay on their porch. They ain't trying to deal with all that. No, I don't like how y'all playing. That wasn't games to us. We didn't play. Okay, there's a place for that. Leave the elder alone. Don't bother him trying to make him call you Sally. Your name Bill. All right. So you don't bother elder. Elder don't bother you. You know what I'm saying? There's a place. That's why this land is big enough for all of us. I'm not talking about the land that I done bought, right? I'm saying this land is big enough for all of us to make this happen. So you're gonna be tested. Oh, I'm ready. We gotta stick together. Us. And then the nigga over there say, including me, and you like, well, not you. That ain't the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta still be able to work with him too. You know what I mean? And look, you might be cutting off a good partner just based off of what somebody's sexual orientation is. And
You're
I'm just
not.
giving this as an example of people be talking about we, and be forgetting about all these different groups of people that they're trying to ostracize and rule out of that. And it won't be, and then you got to get past black. What about you in a neighborhood with Caucasians and melanin dominant people, or blacks and whites? Y'all got to work together too. If not, guess what happens? Let's say you form a community. Y'all do well. This has happened before, by the way. History, hint, hint. Y'all start doing well. Y'all start growing up and growing, and you're technologically advanced, and all these other people out here don't have no resources. Their children is sick. They got smallpox. They walking around with blankets that's got smallpox in it. And they're like, what's going over there in that new world? We sick of this old world shit. And they get on this flower boat. I don't know, the first name might be May. And they come over and say, fuck this shit. And they start slamming rocks that come out of a package called Plymouth on everybody's head, say, fuck it, we taking over. Y'all want to be smart. Y'all want to be technologically advanced. Y'all want to have all this culture shit. How about you do culture this? And they start shooting people. And okay, you're going to still have to deal with those people. If we're not looking in a community aspect as we have to deal with all of these races, ethnicities, and groups of people, then whatever people you rule out, if you ascend, their children will go on to consume your children or make war with them. We got to think this way. We have to. You can't tell me that the best that's supposed to come out of this is a bunch of niggas become smart on the internet. Don Dada, that's his name. You
Nah,
can't
you
tell me
cooking.
that that's not the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal got to be, no matter what it is. You know it's deep when we start converting the street niggas. Yeah, how many niggas come from? I ain't trying to make nobody tell on themselves. Some of y'all got open cases. How many niggas come from the streets? They ain't here. Me. How many niggas come from the hood? They ain't here. Me. How many niggas before this, all this other stuff, they were getting into trouble? I got into some trouble myself. But now it's different. I was just sitting in the presence of some gang members. You know what I mean? Some niggas literally gang members. And they like, nigga, I never knew nothing like this, but this has changed my life. I'm on the path now. And they not on the path talking about, say, they finna walk through some portal. They on the path talking about, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna clean myself up. I'm gonna clean up my act. I'm gonna treat this with the women better. I'm gonna treat the people in my life better. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna study. I don't want to just believe this. I'm gonna learn it to know it and know what I'm talking about. That's real, bro. It's a real thing. And the dissension only stops when people are able to have those conversations. Some people are ducking the conversation. You wanna know what we're gonna have to be? Ultimately, and it may not feel good, we're gonna have to be the bigger people. The NOI may never have certain conversations. You know what I mean? But we can't deny just because the NOI don't want to talk about where this came from or who their leader was or whether or not it was John, Muhammad, or Fard or anything. We can't deny that they're organized. We can't deny that they at least went and got some land. They went and got 450 acres. They said everybody can help. It's not an NOI project. How you doing? They said it's not. They said it's not an NOI project. They said anybody can come and help and be a part of this. I went to one of the temples when they said that. This was about 2 years ago. And I was talking to the Nuwapians and the Sabaeans. And I said, yo, the NOI just did this. Y'all talking about survival. This when they got some land. You know, we can help them. They invited everybody. You want to know what these grown elder Nuwapians asked me? Or what do we do when they want to pray how they pray and we want to pray how we pray? I said, what? I said, what is the religious aspect have to do with whether or not the children have somewhere to go, or the women can be safe and up and placed if they want to venture, they can. They come back home.
That's what I'm saying. That's how people are driven. When soon as you associate yourself with somebody's religion, now you their brother. And if you don't, then you're the other.
I understand that. That's why I say some of us will have to be the bigger people. You know what I mean? Listen, what I mean by that is the NOI may want you to wear a suit when you come to their meetings, but they about to go and do something big in the community. We're gonna wear a suit. The Muslims, they say, hey man, before you come in here, what's that on your face? Oh, just Garfield. Garfield can't come in here. What do you mean Garfield can't come in here? That's nonsense. That's pseudo. Them Islamic niggas gonna run your ass up out of there. And you won't be able to get done what needed to get done because you're there for business. You're about your father's business. You understand? Meaning you have a goal. You have something to get done. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm taking this off. But matter of fact, y'all got some extra thugs in there, Jelly Bean? I'm going to put that on. Okay, cool. Where we at? Where the East at? Let's play. And then we do our thing. Excuse me, let's pray. And we do our thing. And then, all right, now what you come here for? I came to speak to the imam. I got stuff. Well, okay, cool. Does he know that? Yeah, he already respected me. He's right there. Okay, in the corridors. Okay, cool. And then we get this done, and now we take it out to the community, and they say, damn, how you was able to get that done? I went amongst the brothers, and I was one of the brothers. I went amongst the sisters. Sometimes we might not be able to go where the sisters can go. Literally, sometimes, that we need to talk to the Eastern Stars. You know, can't nobody go in there but the patron. I'm not the patron. Who's the patron? We don't know the patron. Damn, okay. Anybody among us an Eastern Star? I'm not, but my mama is. Call your mama real quick. Okay, cool. Yo, what chapter? Sisters out here. Okay, cool. She pulled it up right now. Okay, yeah. And they come to they knock on the door. Now we got an Eastern Star sister able to go in and make this move. All right, what y'all need? This is the science of the stone soup. That's what we said. And sometimes you got to get the stone soup going before niggas could be like, you know what? I don't like the way you stirring it, but I gotta carry it. Somebody else got some spinach over here. Somebody else over here got some potatoes. Somebody else over here got the salt. We need the salt. Everybody knows that, especially us. So okay, they put them to the front of the line. Everybody start coming, but sometimes you gotta get this shit moving first. What I'm doing out here is getting this shit moving. Well, we get people excited enough about, no, I don't need you to move to Africa. Pan-Africanism isn't my thing. If that's your thing, I'm not gonna stand in the front of the plane blocking you. You want to go to Africa? Go to Africa. Maybe you just want to sightsee. Nothing to do with me. Okay, he goes to Africa. Make sure he got his stuff that he need too. Okay, cool. All right, we got to clean his community up. Let's all, matter of fact, we got a better situation now where we don't even have to go there. Let's hit the OGs up because they rocking out with our movement. And they say, yo, what's going on? We just want to do something today because, we want to honor the elders. Let's see if we can get the brothers together. I showed you on my page. You can go look. Well, we brought Bloods, Crips, GDs, everybody together. Better communities and families. Shout out to them. I think they in Atlanta. I don't know if they still in Atlanta. We had all these other people come together. Pastor Troy, the rest of them, and we brought the brothers together. And people said it couldn't happen, and it happened in real time. Now, if we can do that in this George Floyd situation, that's why a lot of people wanted to act like they were present. Then why can't we make our own waves and currents occur to the point where people say, yo, this is a sense of urgency we must have. We got to show up. And they'll show up. I posted a video from 2020 and people saying now, it's another big video on my page. People saying now, yo, man, we need this to happen. We need this. We've been waiting on this. When did y'all do this? I'm so glad y'all just did this yesterday. That shit was 5 years ago. You're not going to tell me our people don't want it. All they need to do is seeing some shit stirring. So they come on this live, they see two brothers standing toe to toe. They're like, what you got? 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 It's like the video where you think the niggas finna sprawl or fight. No, it becomes, okay, they break out and dance. I just want to see if this nigga can do it or not. Boom, yeah, what you got? Yeah, and then move on. That's what they need to see. So I want you to think about that. When you coming at these people, what's my goal? Where am I going with this? And if where you're going with this is you want to encourage more people to be scholars, take the sciences serious as opposed to just accepting any pseudoscientific claims or rhetoric or narrative, if that's your goal, then I would just advise, think about what the approach will be. Because if you walk in a house and drop a grenade and run out, it's gonna blow up. If you walk in a house and say, I could drop a grenade in this motherfucker, I'm not going to. Y'all hurry up and come out here so I can show you what I got. You got everybody's attention. They run out and say, this motherfucker got good. And then you, surprise! And it's, you know what I'm saying? You got money, you pass it out. My approach is to walk in the house and say, I could blow this motherfucker up, but y'all run out and see what I got. And everybody says, this nigga got a grenade. And they come out and I say, surprise. Here go your money. Here go this. You needed this. Here go this. What about it? What you were looking for? We're going to help y'all. We got this. We got, and I don't want it. I'll leave you with this. I have to, good or not, I'll keep talking for another 2 hours. I don't want to be the only one doing this shit. That's why it don't matter if you got 1,000 followers, 1,000,000 followers. I'm showing people. I take the time to talk to people, walk with people. You want to cuss me out? You want to do this? We can do that. After that, because other people call me fraud, all kind of stuff, whatever, pseudo. After we're done with that, let me show you why I'm here. I'm not here to be by myself. I looked at your page and I laughed a bunch of the videos. It was funny and it was true. Some of the stuff you was chopping the niggas out, I said, yeah, and I could see why. I'm like, okay. And then I just couldn't, the only thing I couldn't understand was, why is my face right here? And I'm understanding what your approach is with Dr. York. The bigger point is, Dr. York didn't want you to like him, right? Even in the people he came to, he said, don't like me, like the teachings. So even if you did, he didn't come to you, he wasn't trying to be liked. His thing was, like Buddha, the rest of these people, all these other, give an example. People take it, they don't take it. You're giving an example. One day people are going to slander you if they haven't already started. Let's say you take this further, they're going to come for you for no reason. They're going to say things that don't even make sense. You're like, how can it make sense? You're going to be looking at it like I look at some of this stuff. And you're going to have to still be able to be like, I love this person because this person is a part of it. Maybe this person is reaching out. Maybe they don't know whether or not they can be seen by me and you know what I mean, just by speaking to me. Maybe they think the only way to get my attention is to be negative. So maybe that's their approach. I'm not going to leave it up to chance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be the only one. I want there to be so many of us that we finally understand what community means and take the too many chiefs, not enough Indian thing further and say we can have chiefs. We can have everybody be chief. You have to be a chief, and the chief that's over, you know what I'm saying? The one who come and pick up the trash, if that chief stops, we have a problem. You know what I mean? If the chief that's making the food, if that chief stops, we have a problem.
Chief to mow the grass.
You with me?
Oh.
There's a whole system. And I can't remember who was just explaining this. Somebody was just explaining this recently. I don't want to take away from what they're saying without credit, and I can't remember who said it. I think somebody came on my live and said it. But their main thing was, you'll see how important, or I think it was Heavy. It might have been Heavy. Heavy was saying, you'll see how important somebody named Heavy Mahez. He said, you'll see how important the garbage can God is, or the garbage truck God is, if he stops, you know what I mean, coming through to take up the trash. So the main thing is, I don't want to be the only one. That ain't my approach. I had to be loud. I want the Nuwabians to wake back up, activate themselves again. I want the NOI, the Moors, the Masons, Hebrew Israelites, everybody to be like, yo, regardless of our belief, we got women and children. Most of the time you see niggas out here talking, it's men. It's brothers. You don't see a lot of the women getting into all this stuff. So other than the women having just us going back and forth and bickering, if your brother edify you, how you just came and edify me, you could have came and said, man, this wrong, that wrong, that wrong. I had my wife come in. You see, this ain't no, because, you know, a lot of brothers are afraid to get shown up about it in front of their women. You know that, right? That's a big problem. It's
As
been
they
a big
should.
problem. No, I don't think they should.
You don't think they should? I feel like you should have pride. So
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
want
you
to
should
do
have
better,
pride.
you may get corrected and you be like, okay, I got to tighten up.
I think you should have pride. Okay, I agree. I see what you're saying. I think you should have pride. I also think you shouldn't be afraid to be showed up in front of your woman, because if you do get showed up in front of it, that's going to test your manhood at that moment to see how you deal with that, how you deal with pressure. And if she's able to observe you deal with it the right way, you get more points. And let's say you get dealt with and you dealing with someone who try to rub it in your face. If you still able to hold frame, that's another point that you get. They operate differently. I don't want to go too far into that. But the main thing is, that is a big problem. But you saw me, I bring my wife and say, yo, will you moderate this? Keep time on this? Will you look this up? You know, she even got in on it. She got a lick in. I don't know if you caught it. You called it quick lashing. So anyway, first of all, we did look it up. I looked it up. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much. I was like,
Yeah. I was there for it.
you know what I'm saying? So the
No,
sisters,
I'll say this.
go ahead.
And we agree on a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely I definitely think your position, and especially how you explain it to me, is way more practical. It's way more pragmatic than mine at this time. Only thing is with me, I'm just so stuck on just its information and just the accurate information being out there. Right. I'm not worried about right now uniting with people. I want people to unite with me. And it's for the same reasons. I don't want to be the only one, bro. This shit boring. This shit lame. The
Either
only
way.
one, it's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
I found some partners. Oh, we debunking the pretendians, but hold on, I can't debunk the hoteps. I can't debunk. I debunked the hotel, but we can't debunk the Israelites now.
Debunk the hotel. Debunk all of them. Just remember, if you want people to join you, regardless of whether or not you joining them, they joining you, there must be some type of presentation. Let's just remember that. So if I don't know how much you have to study into that to know where you're going. I feel like, because I don't know if you even see it, you may be underestimating the power of your platform right now, because going at people is going to be the least of your worries. You'll have to deal with the kickback and the response and the canceling and the ousting and all of that comes with that. But if you're
Oh
telling
no,
me your
I'm already
intentions,
knowing. I'm already. That's why I say I'm already knowing all that. That's part.
yeah,
Of course, I know that's part of. I'm blacklisted. I'm blacklisted on both accounts. You know. So I'm cool with it. That's a. I want that to be part of it. I want not to have views. I want the algorithm to shun me because I need to see it. I want to see it. I want to make sure that I'm saying something that's ruffling the feathers, something that's not supposed to be said, something that they
that's what
don't
I'm
want
trying to
to hear.
show you. You can still do that. Okay, let me give you this. I got far. I'm not trying to say I got farther than you. I don't know much about you. I only see your Instagram. And I don't want to merit your progress based off of what I see on the account. I will speak for myself. I got far. I've gotten far. I've reached multiple millions of people on different occasions. And the main way is because I studied Dr. Melchizedek York's, Dr. York, The Strangest Secret, when I was a little child. And I would listen to that all the time. And he kept explaining how to sell. Sell, sell, sell. Not sell as in just get some money. Sell as in present this. Everything is to be sold. Everything is you presenting this idea. You got to learn marketing. You got to learn how to, what's your strategy? Don't just put this out, study your analytics. If you're saying you're looking at the algorithm also bends to the analytics that you increase upon or decrease upon. If you don't know that, then you think the algorithm is a problem. No, algorithm is never the problem. Algorithm, you should know this, is a problem solver. So it's there to help you, not hurt you, regardless. So if whatever this system is, if they built this game GTA, Grand Theft Auto, and you can't walk through this door, you can't walk through that door. If they built this game Grand Theft Auto and you're going to get 5 stars and that's when they flanking you the most, that's when they flanking you the most. But some of us know what? Cheat codes. And we'll be able to say, okay, I don't remember how long ago they shadow banned me. They shadow banned me so long ago it ain't even relevant to speak on because of the things I was speaking on. But guess what I figured out? I said, well, I can't just be teaching this and not apply it. I taught that the variable in all of this is people's consciousness. Consciousness is the variable. So if that's real life, this phone is real life, then this internet stuff is based in that. So guess what? I'm going to tell people every time I post stuff to share it. I started doing that years ago. I said, share this post. Guess what wound up happening? More people got used to it. It became the algorithm. We became the problem solver. What problem did we solve? Phase one is shadow ban. You understand? To the point where now you're going to try to look at my music. You can't even type in phase one songs or just type in phase one. I don't pop up. Millions of streams. I don't pop up. That's fine. I tell people what to do. Just type the whole thing in. You got to type in the whole song you're looking for. It's not the best way to go, but there's still a way out and in this system. So you learn it. Find out how to market this shit to the point where it's like, they can't deny it. And then they have to come with one of the steps is stuff like this. Challenge people, reach out to people, collaborate with people, show up places, get off your couch, be around. If they having a community meeting, you show up there with your setup, right? I'm not trying to say it like that, but you said I have Sarnetta and them used to do.
Yeah.
You show it. I'm not trying to compare you to Sarnetta.
No, I got you. No, that's what I was
Go ahead.
saying.
You got it.
That's what I
You
was
got the
saying.
last word.
What you're doing is way more practical, right? Because I, I'm not really, it's like it's a double standard, bro. Because like what I want, that's why I said what you're doing is more practical for right now, for the moment, for the time that we live in. For what I'm saying, I don't feel like we're gonna catch on until another probably like 100 years.
It's
But at the
possible.
same time, it's like I gotta
Yeah.
live this life, so I gotta live the truth,
Mm-hmm.
to my knowledge. So it's like we own the same shit, like we want the same shit. I just want it by the truth by any means necessary. I don't want it. I don't want it right now. If it's a whole bunch of people, we're gonna be in there bumping heads. We don't know if we're gonna kneel or bow or meditate. I mean, yeah, I just rather just be dolo. I mean, and not saying like dolo and that, but I don't gotta, that's how I am as a person. I don't gotta do that. I don't gotta be jumping. I don't gotta be popping. My grandpa had a church. I went to this church. I said, God damn, you only got 25 people in the church. I'm fine with that shit
Mm-hmm.
now. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like I say, man, I just kind of like I kind of gauged it. And I could do that, what I'm saying, if I wanted to, but like I was really surprised you accepted it, because like I say, man, I got posts of well-known scholars that don't have no business blocking nobody with 2,000 followers.
That one said, because what? Look what you
I,
say. The same thing I told people.
well,
They
prior,
love being able to pull people out of the conscious community and say, oh yeah, you come on here and talk to us.
yeah,
Trap them up. And then they make that.
prior to just trolling, because I pretty much just troll now. But prior to that, it was just nothing but information. I got pulled into this.
Okay.
I used to research, put my information on there, and then I'm getting pushback from people. I'm like, where's these people coming from? Talking about they not black and all this other. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I found all this shit up.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm like, I'm probably, I can't. To all the things you said, they're definitely true. They're definitely accurate, especially when applying it to the method. That I mean, yeah, I hope somebody does pick it up, because you're right, bro. I mean, I seen you out here. But I
it's
will say
happening.
this.
It's happening. It's uncomfortable for people at times because everybody had victors in their mind. They wanted it to be this person. They wanted it to be that person. I don't want it to be me. I just want it to get done.
You got people that want it to be you.
Huh?
You know that. Just
You
like
said
you got
what?
people that wanted to be Malachi. You got people. That's the thing. You got people that wanted to be people, and instead of it, like how you saying, it not being just you. You don't
I
want it
see
to
what
be
you're saying.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to be able to all rock out. Who don't? I mean, sitting on the top of the throne, man. You don't really get to be in the mix.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's getting done, bro. Just watch the successes, even if it's just impact is being made, like how we made impact on this call. It's being done. It's gonna take time. Even if you say it's 100 years, if your intentions are pure, you got 100 years. I'm not saying you may not have 100 years, but if it's gonna take you to the end of your life to contribute to humanity, you're gonna do that.
It'll
And that,
be the spark. It'll just be the spark, like how Pac said. It'll just be the spark. Even though his spark was something else, that's what it'll be. It don't
all
got to
right.
be that. I mean, of course, Tom. Man, what was it? 60 years ago. I mean, I went there, but 60 years ago.
What was 60 years ago?
What was 60 years ago? Hold on, I'm trying to go back to 1960. Yeah, that was 60 years ago.
Hmm?
Then 100 years before that, with the civil rights movement, like we gradually progressing, but 100 years before that, we was, what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So you're right. It's happening. It's just, when you have a little foresight, when you want them first fruits, you kind of seeing everything else, and it ain't moving fast enough for you. But I actually thought about this approach. I'm gonna let you know how hard I thought about it. I thought about grifting as Yashmal.
Who?
Yashmal.
What is that?
Yashmal is the Yakub cousin,
You
the one
wanted
with
to
three
be? Oh,
brains.
you said you. What you got? Big head?
Nah, nah.
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck. Okay, you like I'm
Nah,
gonna be y'all.
Yashmal, the one who come back for the 144,000, all that stuff, and
Oh
the little.
wow! Don't let Jamal the Rashad Jamal people hear you say that shit.
Oh, they
They
like
gonna
that.
make that shit mean that. See, he's Rashad Jamal.
You with me?
But
Yeah,
nah, man.
nah. That's why I just said I thought about it, because, like I said,
Yeah.
so it's even practical to be a grifter. So many people want to be sold a book, sold a license plates. You know, no, man.
What's wrong with selling a book?
selling the license plate. I mean, it's nothing. It's, I
No, so
mean,
what's wrong with selling a book?
oh, if it's misinformation in the book, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I like say, man. It's some stuff out here, man. It's some stuff out here. It's this guy out here. We're Tamericans. I know y'all heard this before, but we're
Yeah.
Tamericans, and he pushing it. He pushing it. He's like, I had to write a book. You know what the fuck? This new not people not talking about nothing. They just know, or maybe they don't even know. Maybe they just caught up in it as well. You're like, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna write a book.
Hmm.
You know, no references, no sources in the book.
You
So
don't have to grift. You know that you get monetized.
yeah. Nah, but the grifting is good monetization though. I seen, I seen a Pretending and join Z Amaru and get 20K within a quarter.
What?
Yeah, build up 20K worth of revenue. It's over there grifting. See, I be over there on TikTok because I kind of like the live setup, the interface over there. But yeah, you know, that's kind of where I ran into all that them issues there.
Just keep going. And when you can again you can monetize without grifting. You do music.
I make music. I make beats, but I don't rap though.
See that you need to be collaborating with people then talk shit later. Well, I'm not telling you what to do. Let me stop.
Yeah, no. I just
You can do both. You can talk
the
shit
talking
and but
shit part is you know, it worked. Really, that's really all I want to do because, like, the info, like I noticed, like, okay, so like back on the other app, they got this part of it where you just go through STEM, and STEM is just nothing but like math equations, science, just information. Nobody's over there. I'll be talking to people about it. They don't even know that shit exists. People don't want just the scholarship. They don't want the information. That's why it's videos and all these Ivy League schools you can go to. They don't got as many views as any of these grifters, right? At 607, right? They don't got nearly the
they
views.
got well. First of all, 607 Unc got a whole community behind him helping him in the blog sites and all that. Okay, here's how I did it.
Hmm.
I stayed consistent. I talked about things that were going on. I taught things that I knew of or knew about or knew, and I made good music. I made good productions and video. I just kept going. And you talk to one person in the store, say, walk with me. You're going to run to another person, walk with me. There's two people. Somebody might, he got two people walking with him. And then you be there a few days, say, why this nigga still here? But when you go back in the store, say, yo, I'm going to show you something. You got 500 people standing there. And then y'all walk. And then y'all go to the next store, you pick some more people up, say, yo, we're going to walk. And this is how this really goes. And the good thing about it, the great thing about it, is it took me, man, well, I've been on the internet since I was 10. Technically started jumping it off around 2017, 2018. I lost my page. I had 30-something thousand followers. I had to start over. And from 2018 to now we have like damn near 500,000. I'm not saying Faise One is a household name, but I think it's clear evident when I go in certain communities, a lot of people know me. We keep going, and you have to have a goal in it, and you got to be ready for it. Unless you just saying, like, again, you want to talk to your congregation and that be that. Just have your plan. I had this plan for a long time, and I know where it's going. A lot of people see it now. Some people think they can't talk to me because they see all these followers, all this stuff. I don't think like that. I think in real time. So I see where it is, in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I saw us here 2 years ago, 3 years ago. People didn't see it. I was doing fundraisers and stuff like that. I do another thing. I do fundraisers. I realized a long time ago that I wasn't gonna be able to. I wasn't gonna sign with the industry. I wasn't gonna do no deals. I got out for $1 million at one point. I got out for 400 some thousand at one point. I turned everything down. I knew what it was going to be. I got my own label. I do all of that. So around 2020, I said, you know what? I'm just going to let the people support me if that's what they want to do. And every time I do a fundraiser, I've never done a fundraiser other than with the exception of when I did a children's movie. I did a cartoon. I said we're going to raise 25,000, but then I realized we weren't reaching that, and I said never mind. We do 5,000. That's the only time we actually met a goal. Other than that, I'd say 100,000, whatever. We never met that. But whatever we were able to raise, I put it toward what I said I was gonna put it toward. I literally said to people one time, I said, yo, we got to do an album. And this album, you can go look at it. I don't know if you're interested in stuff like that, but you go look at it. It's called Ninth Hour, the Ninth Hour album. I said, yo, I'm about to do an album, y'all. I want to raise some money. I said, $500, I'll be able to book about 10 some odd hours to get in the studio. Literally, after I got through making the post, a few minutes later, the money was there. So I went and I delivered. I said, I'm make this children's movie called Childish. You can look that up. Children's movie about all this, the internet stuff, all of that for the children to learn about. I said, okay, we're gonna do this movie. I animated the entire movie myself, voiceovers and all. And this before the AI stuff, I had to literally frame by frame this. And we did it. I delivered. It took about 2 months, maybe not even that, but we delivered it and it got there. I said, okay, we're moving on. I did the 144,000 fundraiser. We didn't raise 144,000. We wanted to raise like 20-something thousand. We was able to do a lot of music and stuff. And every time people see me, I'm either in the studio, I'm doing what I'm doing right now, teaching on live. You ain't never seen me. Go to my page and make me a truth teller. You never see me riding around in no convertible. You never see me riding around in no car. I don't have no car. I have a home, all that. I got 2 houses I'm in. One for my family, one for myself. You ain't see, I take care of things that are necessities. You don't see me riding around no Versace on, no gold. Talking about some we was kings, so we had to have gold. You ain't see me talk about that. You know, I'm not walking around with no $1,000 jewelry, $100,000 jewelry. I tell people off rip, nigga, this watch costs $50 and it dances the same exact way that them niggas is wearing that glass that y'all think is diamonds dance in their videos. And I'm not on that type time. And so I let people, and people say, what, are you scamming? I said, no, I'm literally telling people this is for this. You send this money, this is going to go in my music videos, if I wear attire for my music videos, if I do collaborations and fundraisers or features, and they get to see that in real time. Other than that, I'll do my books. I sell books. I wrote like 17 books. Some of the books are like manuals. Some of the books go into certain sciences that I learned in masonry, allegory, all kind of stuff like that. Some books is based on things that happened in history. We got books talking about technology, computer, all that, AI, all that. I write the books and people come and support the books, and I tell them why I'm doing it that way. And even with me writing the books and selling the books, I'll say, okay, we're about to go live. And we get on live and I'll read the whole book. You know what I mean? And because people know I'm not going to sit here and gatekeep the information. I want you to have it and have it. If you want to learn what I have in, I'll read it and put it on there for you. And we'll save the live. You'll be able to go and literally listen to it. That lets people have literally, I remember I had 10 books at one point, because I got 17 now. Somebody sent me $500 for the 10 books. That was $50 per book. Okay, that was love to me because they knew what they were doing. And that doesn't mean that everybody gonna have 500. Guess what? The person that had $1, they sent $1, they still got all 10 books. And I never changed that from the first time I had my first book to now. It's always been, you send a free will offering. It don't matter what you're saying, you still gonna get all the books. When I had 5 books, it was that. 17 books, somebody sent $1, they got all of them. Somebody sent $1,000, they still got all of them. It's a community thing. Listen, we see you, Faise. We want you to win. They know I'm not out here working no jobs, doing none of this stuff. And I'm not setting up in to open no school and put 300 little black boys in it, and then everything's gonna be okay for black people. They're not seeing me do that. You know, when I told people we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna do this thing. And if something go wrong, they get explanations from us. Okay, y'all, we weren't able to do that. What y'all want to do? We can't put the money there. We got to put it somewhere else. Where y'all want to put it? Because those people ain't gonna show up. So where y'all want to put this money? And I'll do it like that. That's what I'm saying. However it goes, the way I did it is through a system, and you be transparent with people. When I was homeless, I got an album called Homeless. When I was homeless, I was transparent about that. People saw me living out of my car. That was a part of my story, 2019. Okay, I'm transparent. I didn't even tell nobody to send me no money. I literally had no intentions of receiving money. I just was feeling like uplifted one day, and I went live. I recorded a video. I said, I just want to tell y'all something, man. Like, I want y'all to own y'all struggle, because right now I'm homeless. You know, I've been living out this car, whoop de whoop. My family's separated. You know, my people's locked up, and But you know what? This is my struggle. This is part of my story, I posted it, and moments later, people was DMing me, what's your cash out? People, cash out. $230 came through that night from people that was saying, yo, thank you. You inspired me. I'm going through the same thing, And that's why I realized, I said, man, it's a community thing. When you're doing people right, they'll help you too. It ain't just the grifters that get assistance. When you're doing people right, as in they can see where you're going, they'll help you, no matter what it is, and you'll have support. But you have to watch out for this too. People gonna call you a grifter, even if you're getting support from people that genuinely see what you're doing. They just love what you're doing. They want to support you. They'll call you a grifter. They'll say you're scamming people, and you just have to have the backbone with that decision that you have of whether or not you're going to entertain it. You
I
have to
think
have
the
the
grift.
backbone. Go ahead.
I think the grift come in like how you like how you said, like, you know, if is misappropriating the money, saying it's gonna go somewhere it's not gonna go. If you saying the money gonna go to, you know, your own expenses to keep on pushing your information in, that's the difference between somebody saying it's gonna go somewhere it's not.
Yeah, I don't understand why people did it the other way, unless they thought they weren't gonna get no support. It made more sense to do it this way to me. And it's so many people. I've been on Clubhouse before. I didn't have much of a following then. I had like 19,000 followers, and on Clubhouse maybe 12,000. I was getting there, but I remember saying, yo, we could do $100,000 fundraiser. Y'all see what I'm already doing? Da da da. Whoop whoop. And y'all know it's gonna be the music. We're gonna get. Y'all say y'all support me. Y'all rocking with me. Put me out there. They won't be able to do anything about it. We'll be able to do this. And they say okay. And I remember one day just talking to the people. And I'm just explaining because we had been there for a year. I'd known these people for a year on Club, not really known them, but I've been on the Clubhouse for a year. We talking about real stuff. We breaking things down. People coming. I'm getting doing advisory for people, all kind of stuff. And they saw this young. I was the youngest out of everybody. I'm like 20 years old at the time, 21. So they seeing that, and I do the thing. I said, okay, here we go. This is what we about to do. And I just remember what the approach was, like how people came at me, and I didn't even notice they were coming at me until it was everybody. And this is how I noticed, like, I got to keep moving. I didn't notice everybody was coming at me, yo, man, so I don't get it. Why we need to do that, though? Like, if you doing the music, just do the music. Da-da-da-da. It's just so everybody was saying it, and I just remember, and I'm telling you, this is a pivotal moment. I just broke down crying. I'm not necessarily a grown-ass man. I think grown-ass man started around like 26, 27. I was 22, so I was basically a grown man. I bust out in tears. And I'm like, man, I don't understand why y'all can't see that this. I'm genuine. I've been with y'all talking. This ain't. I'm not trying to take from nobody. I'm just saying. I'm telling you, I'm not going to join the industry. We complaining about that and what they doing and the images they project. I could be your artist, and I'm not going. What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna go and buy no fucking convertible or no Corvette with the funds. This goes into exactly what y'all seeing me do with nothing. So I don't understand. So I just cried. And then people said, I'm gonna sing you some money. And it just felt it was like a bittersweet thing. Because people said, oh, I got you. I didn't even want them to send money at that moment. It was a turning point for me. I told them no matter what happens, I'm gonna keep going. And people don't want to support it, they're not gonna support it. But because I saw myself, I heard myself, I felt myself cry like that, and it was real, I said, nigga, ain't nobody gonna be able to tell me nothing. I know what my intentions are. And for that to come out like that, other than say, man, fuck y'all. Y'all don't want to support black businesses. I'm not giving you, what did nigga Umar Johnson say? I'm not giving you your $10 back, sister. You will not get your, I didn't have that type of energy. Only time people might run into an issue with me, it don't matter what it is. Don't talk to me any kind of way. Because your funds will, if you come talking to me any kind of way, your shit'll be sitting there. Yeah, you'll get it. But I'm not, you ain't gonna, don't talk to me like that. Like I'm some waste of space or you that irritated with me because something ain't move how you thought. Sometimes people didn't get it. It's stuff like that didn't happen. Sometimes people didn't get their stuff immediately. I literally would have to go on systems where or times where I would have to refund people sporadically because this and some of this stuff I didn't have any control over. Like we doing merchandise and somebody trying to get their stuff and something happened with the merchant. I can't control that. And now I have to be able to get this stuff too. They didn't keep up their part. But I refund people. And if I can't, some people that literally came and say, yo, can I do something else? They say, yo, I did this. I sent this money. I sent you $200. Can I transfer that $200 over to this endeavor since we didn't do that? I say, absolutely. I don't say, nah, man, you got to still do that. I actually hope people do it like that because it makes it easier for me than to have to, try to track down funds and all this other stuff to get it back to them. So it's still a system. As long as people understand that, yeah, it's easier to do it that way. I tell people just be transparent. If you broke, you broke. If you
Yeah, I
got
think
money,
it's
go
so
ahead.
funny. It's so funny because we kind of got like similar intent. We uniting the people with being intent, with having some tangibles. Um, but I'm so the opposite in every other kind of way. Because my approach is like, I'm not here to be cool with you. I don't want to be cool with you. I actually want you to challenge yourself. And it's a good thing. I want you to challenge yourself though. I want you to look into every master teacher, chief, whatever you was looking to and wonder why you in your feelings about me talking about them. That would have you question like, oh, it's like somebody talking about my home pastor. You know, I have feelings with this, so therefore I have feelings with the information, right? And people never, with me, they don't never want they beliefs challenged. They subscribe to shit to their personal, like existence, their identity. So I don't get the, oh, I fuck with you. Maybe somebody who's actually put themselves through it themselves. Hey man, I had to learn that. Or I had many people. Yeah, I had learned out of Islam. Learned that. You know why? Shit was crazy. Shit was hard. Yeah, maybe they can feel it, but these other people emotionally, and that's why I say I like what you do, and it is practical because people are emotionally driven. If you fuck with them, and if you're relatable, yeah, they fuck with that. I don't I don't do how I flip it around, but it's only because um we need those awkward conversations. We need to admit to ourselves, like, hey man, I do need to tighten up. I am repeating and regurgitating everything I hear. I am following this man when he got the brain just like I do.
Yep.
But ultimately we do have the same goal. I feel like I ain't gonna lie. I got a lot more, and it's crazy, bro, because I think what you did was you transmuted for with a lot of the information you received. And your mind in general is not like these. It's another dude that's kind of similar to you. His name is Ngozi. He real knowledgeable brother, and he kind of like merges like generally how people perceive things, and it works. It's beneficial. This is the only reason why I do this, because I feel like in the future we're gonna gradually get here. It's gonna be, if it's not me, it's gonna be somebody else. It's gonna be somebody else and be like, hold on, because the only reason I got this is because I really wanted to know. It's the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you the Dr. York library. It's PDF, but I can show you several books. I can show you Donald Tyson. I can show you all the esoteric shit that I got compiled. It was for the journey. I look at this like a rite of passage. If you don't go through Dr. York, then you weren't ever trying to learn nothing existential. If you don't know, some of these people, the Deborah, Bobby, Panic, all these names, this is, and I'm in the South. I'm not up in there where they at, but if a black person is asking these questions, you're going to have to go through what you feel like is the people who give you the correct information, and it's not Europeans. It's going to be people who look like you, and you would
Mm-hmm.
never think, not saying everybody had a malicious agenda, but you would never think that, like, they may be wrong. Popping it good, sound very good, like Faise One, like you actually know what you're talking about. You're not chatting, but they can have the same oratory skills as you with misinformation. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when it gets faulty. So that's all. I just challenge people. And they don't like that. It's like, what I'm saying, you go on somewhere and say, put that pizza down, do 6 sit-ups. They don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Mm-hmm.
get mad at it.
Yep. That's why I say, look, only reason why you say you're getting blocked by these people, they don't want it. They don't want to deal with it. And then they'll never pull you on and have you speak, because then you can make them look like they don't know what they're talking. And how could you make the leader or the chief or the pastor look like he don't know what he's talking about in front of the whole entire congregation? And then what do they do now? They have to show whether or not they have humility. They have to show whether or not they have decorum, all this other stuff that a leader's supposed to always stand about. They gonna have to exhibit that they don't have that. So no, what may be happening with you is you may be rearing up to be one of the ones who are a pillar in the new world. New world meaning people will let go of spirituality. Eventually, they're going to realize it's dead. People are going to let go of a lot of this stuff. A lot of people are already. They're going back to Christianity because they left Christianity thinking that spirituality made more sense, and they found themselves more confused. So a lot of people are going back to their religion. So if I'm going to believe something, I might as well believe what my ancestors believe. You know what I mean? I might as well believe what my mom and them believe. They Muslim. I might as well go back to Islam. So you could be rearing up to be one of those pillars where, okay, if Faise One got this approach, which is similar to what you're talking about, I don't really care if people accept this, that, or that ain't my thing. However, I will have certain corners that I cut to make sure that certain things get done that the masses may not understand the importance of, and I won't let my ego stop those tasks from being completed. I will cut certain corners, but I may need to
Damn,
be,
like being a Mason.
huh?
Like being a Mason.
Yeah, that was actually because I became a Mason at 16. That was one of my approaches. Say, everybody talk about masonry, I'm gonna make sure I know what it is. And before because this statement or affirmation was before the twins that was in the community. We called them the twins, the genies, came to me and say, I want to talk to you about the square. I didn't go to a lodge and say, I want to become a Mason. The brothers came to me. And before I traveled, they asked my mother for permission. They say, yo, can we help him do that? And my Umi was asking, my mother was asking them certain questions, say, make sure that all of this is, going to be, you ain't going to do nothing crazy with my son. Right? So then I became a Mason. So yeah, but my main mission, you can fact check me on this. I was going to tell people, even when we took our OB, it was called our obligation or our oath. I said, I'm going to tell. Even when they say, oh, I will always conceal. I will never reveal the hidden mysteries of the Freemasonry, ancient mysteries of Freemasonry. And in my mind, I'm like, as soon as I get up out of here, I'm telling the first person I see. Why? Because I want it to be a hierophant. I want it to come out and show the sacreds to people that will be able to grasp it and use them. And this is how we got here. Ever since 16 years old, I've been on that walk. We literally got a video out there. 16-year-old Mason teaches class hidden knowledge is on YouTube. I've been on that walk, even talking about things that were being taught at that time or even before then. I was on a journey. And that's how we got here. So yeah, becoming a Mason was a part of it. Rosicrucian was a part of it. Muslim was a part of it. Hebrew Israelite was a part of it. Christian was a part of it. Rapper was a part of it. What else? Dancer is a part of it. Comedian's a part of it. What else? What do you need me to be so that I'll know where you at? Oh, I need you to be a Moor. Okay, let me put my Tartar Bush. Let me put my Tartar Bush on. And when I put my Tartar Bush and my fez on, it's gonna be some niggas say, "Why you got that fez on?" All right, what do you need me to put on? I just want you to have a Masonic hat on. Okay, cool. When I get over there to you, I'm gonna put on a Masonic hat. You ready? All right, cool. Talk with the brothers Islam more. So I just out about it. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Often try. So more to be square. I see a light. Da 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 da. Now I got a Mason hat on. Right? The only ones who probably won't make no noise about it is Rosicrucians. They don't even say shit. You don't even know they're around. Right? Or the Muslims, I say Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum, Rahmatullahi, Barakatuh. Okay, cool. We talk, we speak our thing. The Christians say, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Praise him, praise the Lord. Jesus, they try to test me and say, Jesus is Lord. I say, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well then, yeah, because the Antichrist can't admit that. Okay, well then I must not be the Antichrist. Oh, yeah, okay, well now what do we do? Yeah, okay, Jesus is Lord. What do you want to do? Can you pray for me? Yeah, I will pray for you. Father God, I come in the name of the we do our prayer. Okay, cool. Yo, bless the food. Most High, I ask you, bless this food we're about to receive for the health and nourishment of our bodies. Amen. Now what do we do? Yeah, this nigga passing all the tests. Because you're not schooling me or testing me beyond what I've already been tested. I ain't been tested on Christianity, the doctrine, the scripture. I've been tested on the love of Christ. The love of Christ, I was tested on that. I wasn't tested on Quran or the scripture Surah Ayah or whether or not I can, how much recitation I have, whether I'm Hafiz or not, or whether or not I can regurgitate tafsir or hadith. No, I was tested on the discipline of Muhammad. What do you mean about Ramadan fasting? Discipline takes discipline. What do you mean about making sure you pray? Discipline takes discipline. Yeah, I want. So we go through certain schools because of that to be able to deal with different people. And all I'm saying is, this is what I was taught growing up. This is Nuwapu. Being able to do that is Nuwapu. Being able to get everybody, how you saw in the comments, some people say I'm a Christian, Muslim, different people had different orientation. Getting everybody in one room to be able to sit there without arguing over this, that, and the third, and it ain't a concert. Or it's not the strip club. Or, you know what I mean? It's people are there for progressive reasons, even if it's just to listen to the two of us on different scholarship and make their decision of whether or not they're going to explore this point or explore this point and listen to whether or not I can expound or you can expound. They're still here for a progressive reason, productive reason. And it's everybody. And then they get out of here and they don't feel like I attacked either one of them. That's the biggest ultimate goal. And that's for me. That's why I say for you, your thing is you may be rearing up to be one of the pillars who they'll come to you and they're not going to get that same thing, but they might get a rigor that I don't have. You may possess rigor I don't have, and I may possess compassion you don't have. So the two of us working together in the field will be there's rigor and there's compassion. There's an ultimate level or degree or amounts of rigor over here. There's an ultimate amount or degree or level of compassion over here. And when the two of them are working together, then it becomes compassion and rigor that people are receiving from the two. And they need both. If they only get in rigor, they won't have compassion. They only get in compassion, they won't have rigor. So, yeah, if you see scholarship, you can debunk it. Pay more attention to people's works. The works of whether or not they're leading. Okay, I'm a student of Malachi. If you saw or met nobody before today that could stand here as a student and exhibit truly and exemplify truly what Nuwapu is, you just met me. So now you can say, even if you want to say the Nuwapians with the exception of Faise One, okay, bet. But you can't say all the Nuwapians because you met Faise One. Then that generality can't stand as true. Well, it could be as a generality, speaking of Nuwapian, but it wouldn't be all encompassing because there is one student at least that you met that's a, yeah, he didn't deal with no Anunnaki stuff. He didn't go. When I said ether, he didn't debate me. How could this be a student of Malachi? Because a lot of people are only mainstream students. It take a lot more time to know where he was going with it. And I grew up in it. I know where he was going with it. I know where he is still going with it. And if I'm here as a 26-year-old and they locked up Malachi York when I was 3, yeah, he did his job. He did his job. And he ain't
Yeah,
gonna.
I think
He would listen. Let me one more thing. Malachi will walk up on you while you teaching and debating and debunking his stuff, and he'll give you ammo and walk off.
I
Yeah,
mean that's what he
okay.
did.
Go ahead.
I think that's what he did. I think or at least that's how I look at these people. So when I make these backdrops, of course, like I said, only way I can make these backdrops is if I know these people, if I'm familiar with them, right? I just don't go through one of these podcasts and start just finding faces. I'm familiar with a lot of information. Like I said, a lot of the at that time I viewed it as scholarship, so I approached it as such. I seen the dude very sharp, quick at the tongue, quick witted, confident, very confident. Like now the knowledge say, man, it's not, nobody I won't talk to about this information because I'm empowered with the knowledge. That's what I wanted. Even when I was Christian, knowledge, wisdom, understand. I want to be like Solomon. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like all of that is like a part of evolution to get us to be scientifically literate. When I look at spirituality is the first science. You're trying to ask existential questions. We're trying to query on things that we, at the time we don't have the technology available to do it. But
Yep.
that's what we got to recognize. Some of the things we still subscribing to, they're of those times. They're of a time when we didn't have necessarily the technological advancements to actually study them objectively.
So if
Now
I
that
want,
we do,
let me ask you some questions real quick. If I want to learn what reality, as I know it, is made of, or what it's composed of, what would I need to study?
you said it. You said it earlier. When you want to study reality, what was it say? Study neuroscience.
That was consciousness.
Yeah, I mean that's what's going to be
If I want
like
to know what the reality is made up of, I'll
what is
study
what is made up of.
chemistry.
You measure it off your senses. So
I'll study chemistry and I'll study physics. And if I want to
yeah,
learn
all
about
these stuff, all these stuff
spirituality,
are tangibles. Are tangibles. All these things are observable.
yeah.
When we talk about the when you want to see the reality. It's what this is reality right now. You're hearing reality. I'm
No,
seeing
I'm saying, what if I
reality.
want to study the
I'm
science
touching
itself?
reality.
Yeah, I'm saying, what
Reality
if
is
I want to go ahead?
the thing that is perceptible, right? And not just in the mind. Reality, right? Like what time is it right now? I don't know. You might be an hour or two front behind, but the minute hand say 10, right?
Yeah.
We are in that same reality because we can view that. What tomorrow is the 4th. We are in it, you know what I'm saying? That's how we measure reality by objectivity, by peer review. Oh, it's getting dark outside where you at too? Okay. No.
Yeah.
These type of things.
Well,
And
I
that's
mean,
why I
I
say
was asking, what is it made of? Meaning,
what
like,
is reality. Yeah, you did say that. I don't know how you phrasing that question. What is reality made out of?
made of? Like, yeah, what is matter made of? What is
Matter.
what?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Matter. Matter
Chemistry.
made out of mass.
Chemistry and physics. I'm asking for a science field that I would need
Mm.
to study if I was interested in this thing. What if I want to know what happens if I light this chemical on fire? I study chemistry. What happens if that's chemical reactions or
Oh, you're talking about
reactivity?
the different disciplines,
The who?
the different disciplines of science. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what I need to study for each of these spiritual claims. Because you say spirituality will be the first step. Okay, what if people agree? And they say, all right, well, then where did I start? If I want to study. Okay, what about spirituality as we know it? All this supernatural stuff. What's the closest scientific field that we have to that?
Oh yeah, there's none.
Quantum
There's no.
mechanics
Yeah, that's not like that's kind of get into
or
like
quantum physics. Both.
philosophy. Yeah, that's all that stuff. It's
It's
kind of like
theory
how you
right
talk
now.
about with metaphysics.
Oh, it's
Um,
different. It's different than
it is,
metaphysics.
yeah, it is different because they do have some measures, some
Yeah,
measurables, opposed to like
and experiments.
yeah, opposed to metaphysics being more so philosophical.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
new.
still not. It's still not. To me, it's not really gonna measure the spirit or the soul because like I said, these things they're not matter. You know what I mean?
Well, again, when you go quantum, are you going further out or are you going further in?
Out,
You said out?
yeah, out. You say quantum?
Yeah, if I'm going quantum,
Yeah.
am I going further out away from a thing or more
You know,
into a thing?
it's kind of neat because how I view the universe is really one and the same. But I mean, you're trying to figure out what makes up the universe. You could say kind of both. I mean, it's going from the smallest possible, you know, to the cipher the universe essentially.
I think I understand what you're saying. What I'm asking for is quantum. Like if I want to quantify a thing, the
Oh
word
yeah, you
itself,
talking about like being measurable.
yeah, but I'm saying to find its most discrete unit
Right. Yeah.
by which
The
it's
most small
quantified.
one.
Okay, so then if I want to quantify water, what would be the first step of quantifying water? What would I come to? Just saying water.
I don't understand what you mean. What do you come to?
Okay, H2O. If I say water, I can break that down to H2O,
Hmm.
or hydrogen two oxygen,
Right.
or dihydrogen monoxide.
Right. The elements. Yeah.
Okay, and I go further. You can go further than just the water, the bonds. You go into the atoms. You go into the quarks, right? Protons, neutrons, electrons, and then they'll go further. They say there's a subatomic particle really should still be, in my opinion, what you call a quark, because that's subatomic. It's smaller than an atom. But then they'll go further, say subatomic particle, quasi particles. But they go further and further and further into a thing. That's how you find the quantum of anything.
Right.
You understand? Or quanta of anything. So the reason I'm saying that is reality as we see it, even air, there's quanta associated with it, right? That's what people are trying to. They want to study spirituality, or the reality itself, or the spirit world, or the dream world. Instead of it being mystical, they need to study that which is already out there that these words are associated with. If I was interested in spirit world stuff and spirituality, I would study quantum mechanics. I would study quantum physics.
Hmm.
Simple. If I wanted to look deeper into the soul of a being, and I don't know if they really got firm in it, and I remember a few years ago they were talking about it. I'll study quantum biology. You understand? They can go. They got these fields that they developing now. Say, we got to go quantum on all of this stuff. We thought we knew what this was. You remember what the word atom meant, right?
Which one?
Atom,
Yeah.
ATOM.
Yeah. Yeah.
It means you can't cut it any further.
Right. Small. It's supposed to be the smallest it could get. Yeah.
Was they right?
No, I think they went smaller, right? But they went
They
to the
went
quark.
smaller a bunch of times.
They went to the quark. Or the quark. Or what else?
Quark level, subatomic level,
Yeah. So
right?
about.
Yeah, they keep going further and further in. My point is, you wouldn't have been able to tell them that 100 years ago. They figured it out. They were like, this is it.
Well, yeah, molecular biology, all these sciences wasn't even invented then.
Boom.
probably like the mid, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of time these scholars was coming out like the mid 19th century. I mean 20th century.
Yep. You
So
talking
a
about
lot
like
of
Niels
scholars,
Bohr and the rest of them?
was already revered by then.
Are you talking about Niels Bohr and like Einstein, the rest of them niggas?
No,
You
I'm
talking
just
about
talking about like all of them. Like shit, we talking about everything that happened before, like pretty much the 1900s. They like and the claims of, well, I don't say necessarily claim, but just knowing.
yeah,
We couldn't have
exactly.
known like before these sciences was advanced. Like how you saying now, we thought the atom was it, and that's pretty much what I'm saying. We have to update our scholarship, and that's what I'm saying about York. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's only
You wanna
shady.
know something? Can
It's
I tell
only
you
shady.
something?
Yeah.
In that same book, the Holy Tablets, why do you think why do you think he didn't add quantum physics in there?
Not when he write in the late 1990s and shit.
1970s.
Well, there you
That's when it
go.
started. Yeah, that's
Like,
when it started.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So,
them sciences was just now being made public at that time.
but what if he did? If he would have added quantum physics, would that have been something like other than what people think about the book itself, Holy Tablets, as far as being religious?
I just think, like, with kind of like with sciences like that, they offer like so much information. This is really kind of like well, York. So much information, and it gets kind of strenuous. So you just kind of want to simplify it as much as you can, cross-reference it as much as you can to know that it's valid.
Right.
Um, so that kind of requires peer review. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, if you the one, then it's like it's not a lot of peer review able to be there for you.
Exactly. That's why he said, "Don't believe me, check it out." And what if I told you that in the Holy Tablets, Dr. Melchizedek York explicitly stated you need to go and study quantum physics? I did it on purpose. Yeah, he explicitly states, go study quantum physics, study the body. In a chapter called The Living Soul, guess what he's teaching about? The body, biology, the reproductive system, the brain, all kind of stuff. When he talked about the stars in the heavens, guess what he was teaching? The planets, the distances between them, the type of atmospheres they had. So we were familiar with what everybody else was learning and how they were learning it. We just learned it more in depth. I'm telling you, you go fact check me. I wish I knew the page, and I really normally I do, but I don't have it right now. But you can fact check me in the Holy Tablets. As soon as the Holy Tablets opens up, he's teaching chemistry. As soon as it opens up, if all that non-ether stuff, when people talk about non-ether, he was talking about the noble gases and all kind. He didn't go and say we
Oh
are
yeah,
just.
I do remember that. I do remember that. It was a few. Yeah, it was like was it 7 of them? Let me see.
I think it was 8 of them.
Okay, yeah,
8 noble gases that he spoke about. I don't know if he added another. I think it was 8. You
yeah. I
fact
know.
check me on that because I
Yeah,
think there's 8 of them that appear on the periodic table. But he was teaching chemistry. He didn't come in teaching, you know, esoteric stuff. And that's from the beginning of the book to the end. No matter what was happening, there was some science he was teaching, and he's been like that. Even when he had people think about stuff practically. When the Muslim people were talking about angels and all this stuff, he said, "Y'all don't. These Sunnis don't know what they're talking about. They saying angels and God out of heaven." He said they talking about extraterrestrials. Like that's what these beings would be. If they're not from Earth, then you mean extraterrestrials. So take it
yeah.
out of this
I open
mystical.
this book.
Go
It's
ahead.
already so many red flags. Truth is truth. Nibiru, Egypt. Hold on, here we go. Atlantis rising again in the heart of Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what? That's
These
coming out
these
of the
gotta
book.
be these gotta be I'm
Wait,
just
wait.
gonna
I'm saying that's coming. What page are
this is
you reading?
under the 7 plays, the 7 thunders in the holy
Oh no,
tablet.
no, that's not Dr. York's writing.
Okay, okay, okay.
I know if you're reading the Seven Thunders, that's people taking what he was saying from the books. Where you talk about 2030 and all of that,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's
and
saying the water.
they mashing it together to
Oh,
to illustrate or to describe what the Seven Thunders would be when things
okay.
played out. No, that's not his writings, though. I know what you're talking about. Because even 2030, he talks about multiple times throughout the Holy Tablets of certain events that would take place beforehand, the portals that will open up. Like June 26th is his birthday. He just had a meteor shower. Not even necessarily, I think there was a meteor shower. And then a meteorite came through on his birthday. But he explained that his birthday is not just a birthday. His birthday is one of the dates where there's alignments that take place. And again, if he's wrong, he can be proven to be wrong if he's wrong. If he's not, then he can be proven. Well, he said there will be vortexes open up. You'll see meteor showers around August 12th. All right. He talked about this like Man from Planet Risk and the Holy Tablets also, because 2 dates he talked about: June 26th, and he talked about August 12th. And he didn't say that is the day that Jesus will walk through a portal. He said there will be lunar loggings, certain events that will take place because of the alignments of these planets. So on the lunar logging of 26th of June, this will happen. He actually predicted something that was interesting because he I don't know how he could have known that, where he said that people will be taken up. Now, I don't want you to believe me. I'm just saying this will be something interesting. He said people will be taken up to a certain point, meaning there will be attempts to take people out of this plane up to a certain point. He said in 2003, if they were blocked, then there will be more attempts leading up to the year 2030. Now, in 2003, where was he at? He was locked up. And guess what happened in 2003? They cut off his communication with everybody. This is reality. And I know this for sure because I was around. So for a long time, I think the last person that had communication with him, and then it picked back up in 2004, was my aunt. Her name is Tara Bodie. She went by Don Nicoleone on YouTube, right? Blog Talk Radio, all of that. So for the whole 2003, they cut off his writing, his what do you call it? He couldn't communicate with people, and he did a call in 2004. This is documented. Nuwapians still under a spell. Go look it up. Nuwapians still under the spell. And he said they knew that. He said they knew that was the date. He said they knew the date was going to land in 2003. They knew I was going to take people and show them, put all the books together and say, this is what I've been teaching you. This is what I've been saying this whole time. Da, 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 da. And he said they made sure I had no contact with anybody that whole year. This is reality. So I'm just saying, certain things that were said have already come to pass. He said Donald Trump was going to be president, right? Certain things have already come to pass. You can call them prophecies, predictions.
Where did he say that at?
I don't actually know. And I've asked the elders, when did he say it? But the elders told me he said it when I was younger. And they told me, because we had a book. I can say this. There's a book, Leviathan 666, right?
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay, he
Talking about the
said,
cover, the figure on
yeah,
the cover.
he said the face on the cover is Donald Trump. This is what the elders are. I never heard Malachi say this, so I'm not mad at your question.
Yeah,
I
I know
never
what
heard
you're
him
talking
say this, but the elders would tell him when I grew up. My parents, people like that, when they used to talk, this before Trump would have even been considered to be president, right? I'm talking about as a child. I'm in elementary school. We would talk about it. That's Donald Trump. That's the one they're gonna say is the Antichrist. That's gonna be the president. That's what Dr. Malachi York said. Who was that? They asked him, who's the face on Leviathan 666? That's Donald Trump, the one with the Apprentice show. That's Donald Trump. He's gonna be the president. So
about.
myself personally, I never heard him say that. But it happened, and the people I did hear my people. So even if he didn't predict it, my peoples did. But they were predicting it by way of him because they said he said that. That's what people were going around repeating. I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
What do you
Go
think
ahead.
about I'll say Noble Drew Ali? You feel like he's like a worthy of reverence as well?
I think that's subjective as far as who wants to revere people.
Yeah, this is for you.
Oh no, I don't revere
Or
people.
would you say that he would be like a
Like
form of
respectable.
a predecessor? I mean, no, you're gonna respect him either way. I'm pretty sure. Uh, like a
Yeah.
predecessor or like a predecessor of York, so to speak. Because that's kind of how I
I
view
get.
it.
I think I get what you said.
I don't
Timeline
think it would
wise,
be a
yeah.
York if it wasn't for
No, that
Timothy.
was. I think. Okay, so here's what I think. I don't know, and I respect you saying think. I don't know. I know that we were taught to respect Noble Drew Ali and his teachings and the things he brought. It helped Dr. Malachi York reach the Moors, okay? Because the Moors had their big establishment. And a lot of the ones that call them indigenous people, they were doing a lot of works, the sheikhs and the rest of them, and he had to be able to go amongst them too. And the same way we was taught to respect the most honorable Elijah Muhammad because it helped Dr. Malachi York with reaching the NOI. And the NOI got their thing. And if Honorable Elijah Muhammad was able to get the brothers together to that degree, even the sisters to that degree, they're not really a part of the problem then. So as far as a predecessor, timeline, yes. As far as whether or not there would have been a Malachi without Noble Drew Ali, I just can't know that. I mean, realistically speaking,
Yeah.
I mean we could rely on the butterfly effect. It's possible that you wouldn't have been born if Noble Drew Ali never existed, but I just don't know. What I can say
Hey man, you
is,
know what's so funny about you saying that?
go ahead.
Is my great grandma used to wear a turban.
Oh, see, was she from India?
No.
Okay,
Was Timothy?
huh?
Timothy wasn't from over there either.
Okay,
Yeah, I was just saying, but it's from that, like how you say, it's from that timeline. So it made sense. The influence to me, and then you kind of see the similarities. And when I look at the origins of some of the terminology, like I say, the etymology taking me to the root, and I'm like, yeah, these guys, and then where did they get this stuff from? Like even when it comes to the Alkebalan and the Arabic, I'm like, when I find out who we are as far as this EM2, I'm like, it shows us a region. It don't say a country, it don't say a tribe, it don't say a nation. It shows us a region. Um, and it's this like darkened out in West and Central Africa. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not from, I know how Islam got in Africa. I know it wasn't always there, and I know that haplogroup that's there, the EM2, has been there for 50,000 years. So I'm like, claiming anything, I got archaeological evidence 8,000 years. So that means that's prior to any of the civilizations.
yeah,
I just don't. I mean, I get learning all of it and knowing all of it. Um, even applying it, like in knowing it, and like especially like in social skills.
yep,
Say, man, I would do that. That's why I don't show my face because I might just pop up in a temple, in a mosque, in a synagogue, and all that
yep,
shit. And because it is practically beneficial, and you do learn how to market through networking,
yep,
right?
and
I
bring
think that
people
is I
together
think
because you're
that
gonna
is
run into people that got their own beliefs. They may not match yours.
they're never going to match yours.
Okay,
Like wholehearted, like what you say, like all encompassing. Never.
yeah. So only ones that I can only speak for myself. Coming up in Nuwapu, yeah, I got everybody's thing under my belt, and if it's a new thing, I'll study it, and it'll be under my belt, and for no other reason but to be able to relate to the people and communicate with those people and get things done if we come to them. So if it's Noah Drew Ali and their teachings, and the Moors be upset about that. So where he get his information from? Because they only stuck on when he was teaching the Moorish school, right? They don't be talking about everything else. How did Dr. Malachi York get his teachings about the Anunnaki from Noble Drew Ali? Or how did Dr. Malachi York get his teachings about cuneiform and the markings or the sacred carvings or archaeology, the sociology, social studies, world history, all this other stuff from Noble Drew Ali? No, there were certain keys that we were taught by Noble Drew Ali and the rest of these teachers, and we respect them for their keys that they offered. And Supreme Mathematics, Dr. Malachi York didn't come up with that. Clarence 13X or 37X, whoever, we gave them respect no matter what it was. Only difference was when they came to talk about who they teach, what they didn't want to respect Malachi. We can mention Malachi and they're gonna bring up everybody else. But when they bring up their teachers, nobody calls out Malachi. It's a weird thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
man.
go ahead.
I'm just sorry, bro. I just feel like this. I just feel like that's so unhealthy for a culture for us to have all these different like belief systems, man. I do, bro. Like, and
You
I
sound
get
like
it. I
somebody I
get it.
know.
Like, I get it. Like, and I seen it. I think it was like this past weekend. Everybody linked up, and I was like, bro, like. I know the information can't be aligning with everybody. Like the reason why we here, we just here going because we gonna unite and like we need a social group because of I don't know the information don't be aligning. Like it's this one dude. I'm just trying not to name drop because I know you got followed. This one dude. You know what
I
I'm
be
saying?
name
Talking
dropping
about
like a motherfucker though.
you definitely do talk about Atlantis all the time, bro. I'm like, bro, no, it's like in reality where I live. You know what I'm saying? Where the minute hands say 31, that Atlantis shit was a fiction written by Plato, and it's like we steady want to go there, we steady want to astral project and fly away from responsibilities and kind of like all these different things. Like I get
Yep.
it, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, I've had conversation with Moors, had a conversation with a Moor that I could definitely build with, had a conversation with an Israelite that I can definitely build with. You a Nuwabian, I could build with you.
Yep.
Y'all are the exception. If I'm
Yep.
being frank, if I'm like y'all are the exception, there's not many people who can put their beliefs but to the side for the greater good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if when I was like being brought up Christian, and like I'm pretty sure because you still in the South, you ran across like some Southern Baptists. Oh, this is everything. I can't even question this shit. I can't even question it. Question it, I get sent to hell in my mind.
Yep.
So it's like
You know
it's
who you
crazy
sound like?
because everybody got these different upbringings that kind of hone their experiences.
You know who you sound like?
What up?
Malachi.
Oh man, you can't do that, bro.
I mean, I'm saying, everybody who know
I
him
wish.
know.
I
Everybody
wish.
who know him, I know y'all don't know him, but everybody who know, meaning we grew up around the teachings, the community, the elders. There was such a presence of elders, bro, that if Malachi stepped out, the presence of the elders was so strong, it was like he was still right there. It's different. You sound just like him. I don't understand what your issue with him is,
I wish
because
I wish I mean just the information. I don't have no problem with the man, you know what I'm saying? I don't never You'll never see any of my posts talk about any of these people personally. Any personal information. I don't it's only information.
well, that's what I don't know if you caught the gym I gave you. Remember I told you, you don't know Malachi. He'll walk up on you while you're debating and debunking his science or debunking what he's teaching, and he'll give you things. He'll give you ammo, and you won't
Bro,
even know it's him.
no, that's
He'll
what I
give you,
said. I feel like in life you need antagonists. That's why I said I don't know why these people be playing, not except like wanting the echo chamber. You need if you're gonna be the main character, if you're gonna be the protagonist, you need an antagonist. You need some don't nobody just want to watch a happy story the whole time. You need a challenge to
yeah,
get better.
I get you, yeah, antagonist, because even on the land, it happened like this one time. One of the brothers, his sons, man, I tell you, because everybody be meeting these other people, right? They get these platforms, and the mainstream media blows them up, but they don't want to deal with the ones who we have a different, we have a different. What's the word I would use? We have a different. I don't want to say aura. Okay, we got a different. Give me a word. What's the difference? I'm looking for a word, man. What's the word?
Presence. Presence.
You said presence.
Yeah. You can probably say presence. Or you say
I'll,
aura.
I'll try to see my
You
wife.
try
My
to
wife
say
always got the words.
biofield or some shit.
Biofield. We got a different damn thing, right? That's different. And when niggas come up around us, it's like it ain't the same. I don't know what to call that shit other than calling it what it is. We just have a different walk to us, a different style. And when you meet us, it's like, oh, they have that. It's a swag. I think the word is swag. It might be swag. What else y'all got? Somebody help me. We got what? Chromosome. What the fuck? We got a different, yeah, I guess. So we got a different swag to us. And it's because of what we've been through. And some of it's genetics. With me, because my dad actually walked with Malachi. When they was pedaling in the streets, tableaking and all of that, my dad was there. And when they had the Ansar was the most disciplined of all of us. They were the ones who would stand up and keep watch. They still do it to this day. The brothers will stand guard actually stand guard for hours on end, just standing. And then they'll take shifts, and then they'll just stand in front of just to oversee, make sure ain't nobody bothering the building, make sure ain't nobody bothering the women. It's still like that. It was like that since before I was born, when my parents came into play or into existence. The main thing is we have this different thing about us where we ain't even looking at it how other people looking at it. You'll see Dr. Malachi York go out there, and speak the Islam, Arabic language with the Muslim, da da da, and come back here and say, all right, what we want? By the casino with the Native Americans? Okay, cool. And he go over there with them, and then they do it. All right, where we going now? What needs to happen? Oh, we're going to St. Jude's. Okay, we dressing like a clown. Get the Moors together. We're gonna come into the Shriners. I do that. But when they gonna handle that, and then you trying to figure, I just saw Dr. York. He was out there with the Muslims. And everybody running over there to the Muslims, and he ain't even over there no more. Where he went? Oh, he said he was going over to the Hebrew Israelite. Oh, damn, Hebrew Israelite. And then he ain't even over there no more. Where he at? He in the club? What do you mean he's in the club? He's performing. But how you get up from over? He was just at St. Jude's. How you get over to the club? He been left St. Jude's. Y'all ain't seen him? Yeah, he at the club performing. Okay, they go to the club. Where's Dr. York? We can't see Dr. York. He left. He left when? He went to go and build some pyramids over there. He's Ansel Ray. I thought he was just Imam Isa, Dr. York, Rabbi Yeshua. You can't catch him. So you can't catch us. That's how we move. It's just a different way of life. So when we walk up and we see you, I caught a reflection of myself in the mirror. I saw my dad, because my dad used to do the same thing with his finger. I'm telling you, it's genetics. We walk up and we see you teaching or debating or trying to debunk what we say. We gonna say, yeah, ask that nigga this. And I'm the nigga, but ask that nigga this. You don't even know that they dared to test you on whether or not you can test me. He did this before. So he had his son, Ibrahim. But Ibrahim is actual biological son. He's an elder now. He became, I think he was your disciple. He was, I don't know if he's Ansari, but I think he said it was Ansarullah, and then he became the Wapian. I mean, they really study. I mean, they get on here, they will really run you for your money. There's some people out there badder than me now. They'll run you up and out of here, right? And some of them, again, tell you, mainstream Nuwapu and mainstream country community, they're not ready for those brothers. So he said, yo, ask the triad, because they had the meetings on the land, Tamaray, in Edison, Georgia, where the pyramids and everything was at. He said, yo, ask the triad this question. So he went up there, he asked the triad the question. Remember I told you what a triad is? They put the microphone in the center of the stage, and it's three of them. And these are some of the firmest, most scholarly, sharpest. They not playing. They know the languages. That play with them if you want. So you think, they'll have you stuttering, right? Okay, boom. So the brothers go ask the Rahubat, Hawu. They speak to the family, and then they start teaching, they talking. And then you're supposed to ask your question. Okay, who got a question? And they're going to break it down. And if they don't know the answer, they move. So he told them to answer this one question. He asked the question. One of the triads started to try to explain it. He realized he didn't know the answer. He stepped back. One of the other ones moved forward. The other one moved to the left. Okay? They tried to answer it. They didn't know the answer. That triad member had to step back, and the other one had to step forward. The last one, he couldn't answer it. So he cracked the triad. Anytime that happened, I think that's the only time it happened. But anytime that happened, it was supposed to be that if none of the triad could answer the questions, guess who steps up? Dr. Malachi York. So Malachi York came out and answered the question, and it humbled the triad. Why? And again, they wouldn't have been able to be humble if Dr. Malachi York didn't give Ibrahim the question to ask the triad. They had to be humble so they could stay on their guard, because they get cocky. People get cocky. So no, stay on your guard, because there's always information moving and bouncing, and you think that because you have figured out how to answer this and deal with these other people that you're ready for all of this that life can throw at you. It's a real lesson you learn from that. Dr. Malachi York answered this shit with flying colors. I think it was literally about colors and electromagnetic spectrum and all this other stuff. Answered it with flying colors, and people were able to behold that and see that, okay, the triad had respect for that. So my main point is, this is why you're dealing with me this way. We don't take offense to that. We hear people calling our name. You put my picture up. You must know what you're doing. You put his picture. You got to know what you're doing. If you don't, I don't know why you would do that. So we show, okay, what's this? I looked into it. I saw your comments. Let's see what this is. I looked, I saw it. I said, okay. I said, what I tell you? I said, go live with me right now. I didn't say, nigga, fuck what you talking about and block you. I said, go live. Come on, let's see. And then you got on here, and it's not scripted. You could have pulled up anything and debated and debunked. We could have been, listen, you could be here all day. We can do it again if you want to. We can schedule another time. I say, show me. And then if you got something, I'll say, okay, let me help you. What name, what's the word? Okay, let's go over there. And then we do that. And then after that, it's like, okay, did you find what you were looking for? And then you got to notice and bear witness at the end of the conversation. You like, man, you got a practical approach. You on point. You know what you're talking about. It's different than what you started. You started with, you're a pseudo. You know what I mean? And that's how it keeps happening. You're not the first one. Metaphysics came up here.
But no, but you got to know that Malachi York and Suda, it's really like phenomenon to me, like hearing you and how
I'm trying to
knowledgeable, how
explain it.
intellectual
Give
you
me a little
are.
more time. I know I keep cutting in. I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
trying to explain it that what you're thinking is Malachi York's teachings is like you walking in the masjid and seeing him there and say he's with the Muslims. So you say he's over there with the Muslims, and then people go and check, and we told you be careful with that. Don't when motherfuckers say he over there, don't he ain't over there. But you're gonna go over there and say this is pseudo. You're teaching Anunnaki. This, that, and third. But the question we're gonna ask you is a question that you're gonna either bear witness to it or you don't. We'll ask you a question. Say, do you know whether or not the Anunnaki existed? And
No,
what you hold on. Let me tell you where it gets. I'm not trying to debate what you're saying. Let me tell you where it gets interesting. Dr. Malachi York say, oh, he saw Anu face to face. He said he's a man. Now watch this. He could be lying. Now watch this. He could be telling the truth. Now watch this. As a student, guess what I know? It's a possibility. It's possible that Anu was a man and this nigga might be flying around in vehicles and they could show themselves and pull up on niggas. Maybe that's who the NOI is talking, or it could all be made up, but I know it's a possibility. And when people talk about it, I say, what do you want to talk about? We go, here, they said this, a Sumerian said that, or this Numa Elish talks about this, or these stories talk about that. Or Faise, do you believe in Anunnaki? No. Then why are you just teaching about it? Because you were talking about it. I didn't know you wanted to know if I believed in it. You should have started with that. Okay, well then let's go to the Bible. All right, where you want to go? Let's go the book of Revelation. Let's go book of Genesis. Let's go to the book of Matthew. Let's go to the book of Ephesians. Okay, cool. We break it down. Yeah. Da, da, da. Faise, you believe in this? No. Well, why would you teach it then? Nigga, because you just asked me about it. I didn't know that if I could teach what the turtles in the hair story is, that means I believe in the story. I thought that I could teach it because that's what you believe in. You want to ask me questions about it, and I'll show you the most practical points that I can extract from this story, right? And then after that, okay, now ask me, do I believe in it? Now let me ask you a question. Why is it relevant if I believe in it? Your belief is your belief. Your way of life is your way of life. Your deen is your deen. Mine be mine. That's how I'm telling you what it is. So if you say his information was pseudo, he would agree with you if you were able to point out what it is. You say, okay, that's okay. Let me ask you. I'm gonna play Malachi. What did I teach that's pseudo? Give me one.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like anything, anything outside of our ancestral culture has no
Huh?
business being taught.
Okay. I taught ancestral. I taught our ancestral. What do you mean our though? Let me stop you there.
Well,
What do you mean our?
not yours, because you're not black, but black people who are from who have ancestors in
You're talking to
America and West,
Malachi.
yeah, in West and Central Sub-Saharan Africa, like yeah, we.
So you said Malachi's not black?
Oh yeah, I'm conflating that with you because I'm talking to you, but yeah,
Yeah, you talking Malachi.
black people, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Black people,
okay.
we are West, it's West Central Africans. We don't got
I
no
taught
business.
about
We
that.
don't care about Sumeria.
I
We
taught
don't care
about that.
about Atlantis. We don't care about Hebrew. We don't care.
I
We
taught.
definitely don't care
Okay.
about
So then,
Islam.
okay. So you said because people don't care about it, doesn't exist?
And we don't need to be talking about it, teaching it to our people. We need to be
Why?
teaching about West because we're not from there. We don't got no
Okay.
business
So then,
caring
what if
what
somebody is from Ethiopia? What if somebody's from Europe? What if they are from there?
ain't got nothing to do with us. We black. We need to focus on us. We need to get
Okay. So
right.
I'll talk to you about you, and then I'm talking to them about them. How's that?
Why are you talking to them?
Why not?
Cause you need to be talking. We need to be getting on code. We need to be getting. We ain't got no like. That's like when they was talking about why y'all ain't helping the people. We ain't helped ourselves. That's what I'm talking about. That's why.
So what do you mean? So I'm
Why we
not
worry
supposed to
about
talk
them
to?
people?
Huh?
We can get on some unless they talking about helping us as a people or helping us put some paper in our pockets or doing something that's beneficial for us. Yeah, and I get what you were saying earlier about like all people. That was true too. But first thing first, and that's us. And then we gonna be the. We know we the influence. We know we the
Okay.
influence.
Well, there's too many. Yes, as first of all, we got to figure out who's going to even get on code what we're doing. Not even just get on code as in we're black or we're from sub-Saharan Africa or West Africa, transatlantic slave trade. We need to get on code about whether or not we got infiltrators and conquistador descendants and counterintelligence pro among us. We need to deal with that first. Weed out whether or not we got people that want to be down for the down or kick it to get by.
Shit. That shit gonna
We
be
can't just
hard
be
to do.
talking
A lot
about.
of, a
You
lot of
can't.
shit you
You
gotta
can't
do
just
first.
tell me that I'm supposed to group with this person
First,
and they
no.
got a gun to my head. They're gonna pull the trigger.
First, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's a lot of first thing first. My first absolute first though is what that shit they call it, like shadow work or introspection or dealing with your trauma. I feel
Yeah,
like that's the first thing we gotta do.
yeah.
To do
Okay,
anything.
meditation.
Um, a form of it. Yeah, I mean, if meditation can be viewed as a form of introspection. Meditation is scientifically proven
Yeah.
to be beneficial. So
Okay, I teach
like I
that.
said,
I got an order called Sons of the Green Light. I teach all of that introspection. I teach all of the meditation, not even just transcendental, actual meditation, focus and concentration. I teach all of that. Emotional regulation. I teach all. Okay, we're
but
on the
really,
same
like
page.
shadow work, like really, it's kind of the hardest thing to do. Like even to talk about, it's kind of like saying you're looking at the sun, but you got to address your shadow. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
addressing something that you're subconsciously suppressing. Right, whatever like childhood trauma, some stuff probably happened that you probably done blacked out and try to make yourself act like you forgot, lie to yourself, and it's really what was keeping you back. And all these flawed people out here, they got their ways. It's pretty much what's giving all these people their ways. Right, learn about yourself.